me like that's
Is it?
apocalyptic looking. Like, oh, you're just cool with like the air being
I
orange. It
I mean,
doesn't bother
it's
you.
it's like you just put an Instagram filter on. It wasn't that crazy.
Sure,
Oh, okay. I mean, it's like
like a
this
toxic
is not the first
Instagram
time. This
filter.
happened last year too.
I know.
What? Where were the fires? New York, right? Or New York? Were they? Or were they in
I thought they
Canada
were
as well?
also Canada
I
last
think they.
year.
I think you might be right.
Canada's
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
having a bunch of,
Well, they've outlawed
issues lately.
controlled fires.
Is that the real reason, or is that like what conservatives are saying?
I think I
I mean,
think that is the
sometimes
real reason.
conservatives can be correct. I'm just saying, saying it sounds like a very conservative
Right.
talking point.
No, I think that's the real reason because that's what happens. That's the reason in Californian fires a lot of the times. Like there's
Mm.
idiots for sure. I mean, there's idiots for sure out there. Like that one, the last big Palisade fire that happened. It was because of what, like a gender reveal or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
There was one, yeah, that blew up. But I mean, in general, like, yeah, but also climate change. Like, we cannot let
well,
like
yeah,
that off the hook and pretend like that's not the issue.
no, that's a huge issue. Chile actually is about to get 200 feet of snow. Is about to get 200 feet of snow
That's insane.
in 10 days.
So what are they gonna do?
I no idea. I have no idea. They're about to
God,
literally get fucking drowned in snow. Yeah, because it's wintertime for them.
how does that even like? What do you even do with that? Like,
I mean, there's not a ton of infrastructure in a lot of places, so it's
Mhm.
just you're just
Is it
drowning in
mostly
snow.
gonna be like on the top of the mountains, or is
It
it just
probably
like?
you could.
Okay,
Well, I'm
yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Like the city, Chile's not that big of a country, so I'm sure
Oh,
like they'll get hit with something in places. But like there's the
but
the
it's
the
not gonna be
Patagonians right
200
there.
feet, 200 feet deep, like in
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 the
in
city
yeah, yeah,
center.
yeah, yeah, in the city center. I don't think so. That'd be devastating. But I mean, it,
I mean, still, yeah,
even if
I mean, I'm sure
1% of
it'll.
that snow came, that's a lot
Yeah,
of snow.
I'm sure it'll be devastating in its own,
Yeah,
in its own right to people.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, we haven't really talked much about the crazy Earth stuff that's been going on, but we didn't talk about the earthquakes in Venezuela.
In Venezuela, yeah. There was earthquakes in Iran as well. On top of the war they've been fighting, there were earthquakes
Right.
there.
It always
Um,
happens that way, right? It's like last thing you need,
yeah,
you get an earthquake or some sort of
right.
natural disaster.
I mean, I'm sure our hurricane seasons are coming up soon, right? Like they're going to be pretty
Yep.
bad. Well, when are hurricane seasons? Late
Uh,
August, September?
yeah, I think it starts next month. Maybe it may have started actually. What was hurricane season?
I'm surprised we haven't heard anything crazy about like tornadoes and twisters, like any big ones. Those are always crazy too.
What month start? Yeah. So June to November 30th. June 1, November 30th.
Oh, so it's coming up. Oh no, it already started.
We're in it. Yeah.
Why do I keep thinking like June comes after July? Like why do I keep thinking that?
That's wild
This
because
is
you
the
were
third time
born
I've
in
done that.
August. You forget. You forget when your own birthday is.
Casey's birthday's in June, and I've
Oh,
already celebrated it.
so you just skipped July and just
I just
pretended.
skipped July. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up, big dog around Aries? What's happening, brother? Hey, so we might be going to jail.
Oh.
So you might not be getting these regular broadcasts.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see what
Sorry to
Trump's speech
disappoint,
says.
but it sounds like they're going to start doubling down on who's a terrorist and
Yeah,
us being silly every Thursday
yeah.
talking about politics
Well,
makes us terrorists. I guess.
the interesting thing is that there's no statute for like speech terrorism, right? Because we have the freedom of speech. So it's going to be interesting how they go about doing this. I think what they're going to probably end up doing is why I think Trump's speech later on today is it'll be interesting what he says, and the Chinese aspect of it is very interesting too, is because they're just going to be like, well, they can't arrest us for saying
And you're
something,
you're always
right?
being so pro China too. Like
Right,
that's just going to be the
right.
nail in our coffin.
It's gonna be. So they can't arrest us for saying something, but they can arrest us for uh, colluding with a foreign entity. What is that? Is that a crazy view? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just about. Yeah, so they can arrest us for colluding with a foreign entity. You know what I mean? They can do that for us. That's what they did in Iraq. That's what they did here during the video you sent me. Actually, surprisingly, it ties perfectly into it. We're really going back to the greatest hit the United States has done for the Aleutian Islands and the Japanese internment camps, right? Like it was like, oh, you're Asian looking, to the camps you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then what they did to the Aleutian people. So it's like we're really just going back to our greatest hits. It's fascinating. Trump's just watching all the history channels, and he's like, that seems like a good idea.
Hey, why'd we ever stop that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's the only way they could do it. So I don't know how they'll tie me and you. Like just saying China's good doesn't.
No.
We don't get funding from anywhere. I get
No.
like 1 or 2
We
subs
don't
every
talk
year.
to we don't talk to anyone, so I'm sure we'll be fine for now.
So I wonder how they'll. Well, the thing is though, like if they get to us, it's already too late. Like it's
Right,
too
like
late.
yeah, well, right, exactly. So many people
It's too
are.
late.
I wonder if we'll get trials.
No.
It's
By
just
the time
like
they get to me and
done.
you, there is no trials.
It's just-
There is no trials by the time they get me.
And
and
it's just
you.
like our neighbors reported us for being like
Yeah.
whatever they're gonna call us at that point in time.
Right.
That's probably for the best because I feel like having to watch these back in a courtroom would just be really insufferable.
That's the plan, and that's kind of what the speech we're gonna watch today. That's kind of what they're gonna do. I mean, I don't know about like killing, but I'm sure they're just gonna be like, "Well, you go into a jail, and then like that's where you just go. Like whatever happens to you afterwards, um, doesn't really matter to us. It's we're going back to the. I'm telling you, like fascism's coming back in a big way. It just is. So,
Yeah, it's a good time to brush up on history, I say to myself.
oh yeah,
Like,
very rebellion.
like, really,
Very rebellion going on right now.
really need a little refresher there, I think. Just to
Right.
try to stay on top of it all. But.
Did you send me that video just to like it was just like, oh, like look at the greatest hits the United States has done, or was it like, oh, like this is kind of what it was? That just like a coincidence? Did you
Just a
send me that
coincidence.
video?
No, I
Okay.
didn't really make that connection. I was just like, I hadn't heard of that before, so I was like, oh shit, that's really bad. Let me send it along.
I have heard of the Aleutian Islands. I didn't know like the depths of what we did there. But was I at least a bit of surprise about that video? Not at all.
No. I mean, that's always the thing when you hear things like that. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not surprising.
Makes sense.
Especially at this point. Yeah.
I'm sure will somebody in our stream's gonna come in talking about, well, how do you know that really happened? Well, they document this stuff.
Right, when it gets to the point where we're denying historical events, like how
It's
do
funny.
we even argue? Like if you don't
Yeah.
believe that happened, then you are just willfully ignorant. So I don't know
You know what it is?
what to tell you.
You know what it is? It's people like to think it's funny. It's funny, and I'm not saying like I think any differently than this. I do think the same way. One of the things about doing the MBA, you really get to learn how complicated supply chains are. You know what I mean? Like we played in one of my supply chains, like just intro to like basic intro to level to like supply chains, like learning about like bottlenecking and all that stuff. We play this game like we were given the control over a factory, and then we would have like decide like where to like deploy the resources and all that stuff. Like where it was like 3 different factors, or like, multiple different factors where you kind of had to like guess like how to deploy something, like how much production you wanted, how much worker capacity you wanted, like how many machines you wanted to run, like if you wanted to purchase new machines, stuff like that. Like it was very realistic of like how like supply chains actually works, right?
Okay.
A lot of people think when bad people do stuff, they don't like they just do the bad stuff and then they just hide it. Like they don't record anything. Like that's not the case how this happens, right? Like you don't understand.
Right.
Like this is not like okay, to do bad stuff, you need a place. To build a place, you need to get material. right? Like you have to record. Like there's always some sort of record left over. Like you bought that material. People just didn't take your word for it. Like if you use cash, you got that cash from somewhere. Like there's an exchange
Right, it's all
happening, right? You
traceable.
signed
Yeah.
something. It's always, and if we want to just harken back to like World War II, for example, right? Like yeah, a lot of people didn't know about the outside world. Obviously, later on, they found out once they started freeing the exterminating the concentration camps, right? But like those trains running back and forth, those trains needed fuel, right? Like their fuel had to be purchased somehow. Like there was a record of that, right? How many people came? They were given numbers. Like those numbers were recorded somewhere, right? Like it's obviously
Yeah, I mean,
it's
there's
recorded all
often
the time.
organization to
All of
these
it,
types of
all of it,
things.
right?
Well, I mean, if you look
So
at like Israel and Gaza now, like I mean, maybe they're
they know.
not probably documenting like every person they kill, obviously, but it's like there's still all this like evidence of like munitions they use, bombs they drop, like all that sort of stuff. Like they're keeping tabs on that, like right? Like
But I think you're a little bit wrong there. You're 100% correct, but they are documenting every single person they've killed. They have extensive records in Gaza of every single family member, every single family dating back 80 years. There's extensive records that the
well,
Israeli
like
army keeps.
so
So,
Israel's keeping all that.
oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay,
very
I
much
didn't know
so.
that.
Oh,
Okay.
very much so. Israel has records dating back to grandparents and great great grandparents that have lived in Gaza for a long time because Israel controlled Gaza for a long time.
Yeah.
For a very long time until like literally like the 80s and the 90s. That's when like Hamas's inception and the elections happened and
Yeah, I mean,
then
yeah, it
Israel
makes
pulled
sense.
back.
They want to keep kind of tabs
Um,
on everyone, I guess.
that
And it's
and then
also
also
like
drone
they.
copters.
Well, it's also like they don't think they're doing anything wrong.
No,
Like they don't think they're the ones in the wrong. So
right.
like, why would they be afraid to document it? I mean,
Exactly.
I'm sure some
Exactly.
people do, but like,
They proudly say it.
yeah.
They proudly say it. And it's constant surveillance there. It's constant surveillance there. Like there's not a single thing that moves. Also, you have to think about it too. Like when the Gazan people go out, they go out of Gaza to like the West Bank, and it's only like 4 checkpoints.
Right.
So they're
Yeah,
all given
all
ID
that's
cards to be
documented.
able to go back. Right. It's all
Sure.
of it.
I mean, to be issued an ID card, you have to be on file somewhere, right?
Right.
Not
So
to mention leaving the country for medical reasons, like
yeah.
on the off chance that you're able to.
Right. Exactly. So it's always funny to me, like when people think like, oh, bad people just do stuff, and then like you'll have like no idea, like people will never find out. So it's always funny when people come into our chat talk about like, you don't know that happened. No, you don't know that happened, but the government that's doing this bad stuff certainly does.
Yeah.
Certainly does. Absolutely, they do.
Yeah.
You think when they blew up the Minab Elementary School, like it wasn't like pinpointed on the map, like this is where the attack will happen, like this is where.
Sure. I mean, we just happen to have a president who's willing to lie about it. I mean,
they could just say like, oh, we're doing an investigation, like that's it. Right. Like they'll just sue like we're doing an investigation, and like
I don't even remember what he landed on, like what.
Yeah, that's it. It was literally that. Oh, like where the Pentagon is doing an investigation, so we can't.
Didn't he say Iran bombed themselves?
A whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah. I'm sure you said that too.
Something like that. Yeah.
The latest I've heard is like, oh yeah, we were doing an investigation. They're trying to figure it out, and it's like, oh, it's possible that Iran could have bombed themselves just to blame us.
Right.
Anyways, let's see where the resurgency of political terrorism task force is going, and we obviously know who they're going to target.
It sounds so menacing.
It does, right?
Yeah.
In a just world, it'd be these people that'd be getting investigated for all the war crimes and all the stuff they've been doing with ICE.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we're gonna sit and listen to Stephen Miller lecture us on being a terrorist when his people are out there shooting people in the streets.
Maine, Texas. Yeah,
exactly.
People that have the right to be here. The person in Maine, the immigrant from Colombia, had a work authorization.
Mm-hmm.
He was authorized by the United States government to be able to work here. And he was the wrong guy. They weren't even looking for him.
Absolutely. And I mean, we talked about this before, but just being inside the nation, like, yeah, the entire Constitution, maybe some things don't apply to you, but you still have basic human rights
Oh,
as
yeah.
a non-citizen. Like,
Yeah.
even as a person who is undocumented, you have certain rights. Like, you cannot just be shot down in the streets, like,
And
that's just like
and, and,
not
and
what we
me,
do.
me and you looked it up, right? Like being an undocumented person or entering the country illegally is not a criminal offense. This is
Right.
not a force projection type of thing, right? It's paperwork.
Right.
This is a paperwork issue. It's not a lethal force applicable issue.
Yeah, it's a
Right?
civil.
It's a civil issue. Like you can get arrested and go in front of a judge and like pay a fine.
Oh, right.
Like you're not supposed to get pulled over by masked thugs with Glocks on their hips and then actually get shot. Like that's not
Mhm.
like it's night and day what we're
Right,
talking about.
right. Well, ICE gets to be judge, jury, executioner when they don't even have training to do half that.
Right.
Like, I mean,
And the fact that like the person got away with Renee Good
mhm.
always was going to mean that like somebody else is going to try it. Now this guy is going to get away with it, and that also means that somebody else will try the same thing again. Like the use of uh, force will be applied again and again
Well,
and again and again.
I don't
It's
know
just
if it
wrong.
ever really stopped or slowed
No,
down. It's just
no,
we haven't had, you know, any more white American citizens like Renee Good or Alex Preddy. It's just
right.
everyone else has either died like in a I just keep thinking detention camp, which I guess is correct, but what are they calling a detention facility, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
In detention facilities or flat out on the street. But I
yeah,
mean, a murder is a murder. It doesn't really matter where it happens, Like if
exactly.
just because you're inside the detention facility, like if you're literally choking someone out and they die in your arms in a chokehold, then and you're an ICE officer, you did something fucking illegal. Like,
Right,
like
right.
I don't know.
And we already know all the bad shit that's happening in these camps, in these detention camps, right? Like where one ICE officer sexually assaulted 18 women, and
Mm-hmm.
so many of them were like underage, and so
Right,
many
and
underage girls are mysteriously
missing.
becoming pregnant.
And yeah, and then they just get moved and they just
Yeah,
disappear. Like we never
disappear.
hear from them again.
Exactly.
Because they're not treating pregnant women anyway, like not giving them
Right.
the care that they need. It's
What an
it's very
evil shit
insane.
country we are.
It really is, and it's like it's after Delaney. I mean, I don't even know how that kind of panned out, right? Like,
Yeah.
people are still protesting, I assume.
Yeah, people are still out there, but people getting arrested, so.
Yeah, so it's just not in the news as much anymore.
No,
Like,
it's a different news cycle every day. It's
yeah,
a fresh hell. It's partly media is to blame because they don't come back to it. I'm sure something crazy will happen to Delaney. It's only a matter of time, right? And then
yeah,
it'll
right.
just be
Well,
back
right.
in the
It's
news
when
all
it's the
again.
next like big thing. I mean, it's
Right.
hard to compete with like
Yeah.
rape allegations and a senator dropping dead. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Steve Bannon method, just flooding the zone constantly.
Yeah.
On top of like the news that automatically happens, right?
Right.
Like every week it's the Iran war is Friday night. Hey, no more. The deal's off. We're bombing them.
Yeah.
Sunday night it's literally Iran called me. We're making a deal. We're meeting in Switzerland, right? Like it's
Yeah,
every.
yeah. It's not funny. I shouldn't laugh. It's just like in this cycle that we're stuck in with that, like every Friday, when you tell me like, oh, like we bombed something or whatever, or like Trump says it's off, something like that. I'm just like I never know how to respond because I'm just like, this feels very cyclical at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we're doing today, and then tomorrow
It's
it's
just,
gonna be we're gonna be back at the table because we don't nobody has a choice here. Everybody has to
No.
come back to the table unless
Yeah.
you're gonna fucking
It's the
destroy society.
this is the only way wars end. People don't realize that either. And this is something kind of like that we talked about a little bit, like, or I wanted to talk about a little bit with Ukraine, right? Ukraine war is not going to end until like people get to the table and like sign a treaty, right? Like it's just not going to. Like they're gonna keep going back and forth. Like at the beginning of or at the beginning and the end of last year, like the complete last year, Ukraine was losing horrendously. They were losing. Now they're winning. So if I'm talking to Zelensky, I'm literally going like, okay, dude, like you got to get to the table here. Like you have leverage right now. You've been attacking a lot of the global supply that Russia's providing, global oil supply. You've gained a lot of ground. Surprisingly, you Trump. I'm gonna choke blood saying this. Trump is a little bit correct in this, right? Like he's a little bit correct in this
Okay.
that this war kind of only started because of Biden. Because the Biden administration did egg them on. They egged them on. They were like, no, we'll stand with you. We'll provide you with whatever you want, whatever you need. You know what I mean? Go to this war. As soon as Zelensky saw, like if I'm Zelensky, as soon as Zelensky saw like that they were like, I mean, again, I'm not apologizing for like if don't cut me out of context here. I'm not saying like Russia's right in this or whatever. Like Russia's definitely the bad guy.
Yeah.
But all wars end with treaties, right? So if I'm seeing Russia put troops on their border, they did that for months, right? Like I'm calling them up, like, hey, listen, we don't really need to go down this route. You're gonna lose a lot of people. We're gonna lose a lot of people. Let's just work something out. Let's just work something out. We're neighbors, right?
Sure.
Like they already saw what happened with Crimea, and Ukraine's not completely innocent. They're a deeply racist society. If you want to just go back to just look up the name Stephen Bandera, like you'll figure it all out. It's not. They were inviting Hitler to come do the Holocaust there. Like they were setting it all up.
Well, I saw like a random article. It could have been a couple weeks ago at this point. Just kind of Poland like being a little outraged at them because they called like a special military unit like
yes
after like a unit that genocided Polish people in World War II. So they were like, hey, we've been supporting you, and that's a little offensive.
Yes.
And they're just no, we're going to keep it.
Yeah, and this isn't like what you're talking about isn't like 1940s. No, this is in the 1980s, 1990s, and the 2000s we're talking about where this is happening, right? Like this deeply, very deeply racist military, paramilitary unit that's known to be extremely racist and extremely misogynistic and all the ists you can think of operating and working with the Ukrainian military. It's active. It's active today. So again, that doesn't mean that Russia gets to invade it.
I was gonna say Russia doesn't get to, I mean, because by that logic, somebody could say that we have full rights to go into any sort of like quote unquote Sharia law country and just demolish it for women's rights, right?
Those are the things that like Russia did. Putin used that as an excuse. That our people, that he used that as an excuse in Crimea, and then he's using that excuse now, right? Like people are getting harassed and killed by these literal Nazis because that's what they are, and that these people are ethnically Russian and they want to be part of Russia, so we're gonna go and liberate them. That's his reasoning.
Right. I'm sure.
So Zelensky could have literally been like, okay, well, I know all this bad shit is happening. Like, let's sit down and talk it out, and let me fucking shut this shit down, right? And we can be trade partners. You can, we were once the same countrymen under the Soviet Union. We can be friends, right? It's always going to end with a piece of paper. No matter what. You can't keep fighting. It doesn't it's just not going to happen. It's just that simple. Anyways, should we start the video?
Shall we get into it? Yeah. So we have speeches from Rubio, Miller, and Scott Bessent. I wonder
All
why they put Scott there instead of Besant. That's why I was confused as to who Scott was for a minute. Scott Besant.
Just call him Scott. That's it.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like
just
Zendaya.
Scott.
Just
Like,
know by Zendaya.
okay,
It's
like
just
Scott
Scott.
who? Yeah, I mean,
Let me
I
not
thought for a
compare the
second
Queen to this evil.
to Scott Bassett. Yeah, yeah, that's rude. You know, she's done nothing to deserve that.
No, she's in the correct side of history.
Our great president, Donald J. Trump. So it's my great honor this morning to introduce our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
That is a long podium.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining us here today. I'm very honored that this distinguished group of people that have traveled from around the world to be a part of this important conversation. We're grateful to you. I also want to thank members of the president's team and cabinet that are here today. Our FBI director, Kash Patel, who's here with us. Thank you. Our Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, has joined us as well. You'll hear shortly from Stephen Miller, the president's deputy chief of staff and one of his top advisors on Homeland Security issues as well. And of course, our Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, is here. But again, I want to thank all of you that are here today. I want to thank the whole team here at the State Department as well for putting this together. It truly is an unprecedented event on an unprecedented issue, moment, I should say, in our history. So let me start by saying that the most essential duty of the state, the first responsibility, frankly, of any government of any kind, is the protection of its people. It's the protection of its country. This is a sacred obligation that should transcend all political and all ideological divisions. It is why, for example, we have militaries. It's why we have intelligence agencies. It's why counterterrorism bureaus exist, why police forces exist. Keeping our people safe is the reason why every country represented here has all of these things.
I think you and I have a different idea.
We are all very well acquainted, as of now, of course, by now, with what has been described as traditional terrorist threats. For 25 years, the term counterterrorism, at least in the West, has meant first and foremost the fight against radical Islamist extremism. And there's a very poignant reason for that. On the 11th of September, in the year of 2001,
of course,
19 men murdered 3,000 people here in my country. Then that same enemy struck Europe, murdering nearly 200 commuters aboard trains in Madrid in 2004, and 52 more aboard London buses and the underground in the following year. The entire architecture of Western counterterrorism was rebuilt from the studs around the singular traumatic event. That made sense at the time. Our job was to keep our people safe, and the realm of terrorism, the specter of global jihad, was the premier threat to their safety. And so we went to work, and we assembled a global coalition, working with many of the friends that are represented here in this room today. And we destroyed the ISIS caliphate. We killed al-Baghdadi and al-Zawahiri and bin Laden, and we built intelligence and law enforcement systems capable of anticipating and stopping attacks before the public even hears about them. Every country represented here today has disrupted a terrorist threat at some point emanating from this source. Jihadist attacks and plots in the United States are down by 2/3 since ISIS's peak. The number of people killed by jihadist terrorism in Europe dropped by roughly 97% from the year 2015 to the year 2024. In other words, to a very great extent, our counterterrorism strategy has worked. The threat has not disappeared, of course. It will continue to exist, particularly so long as we tolerate immigration systems that imports these threats directly into our respective homelands. But this threat has been severely diminished. The world looks very different today because of it.
You know, since he just said that, and we know it's just going to get worse, I'm going to say, has he always had such a bad lisp and I've just never noticed before? Also, the way the light is hitting, like, what must be, like, just, like, wetness or, like, spit in his mouth, it looks like he has a gold tooth. All right, I'll stop making fun of him now.
I mean, listen. His ears just distracted me from everything. I don't even hear him. Like, I just listen for like the waves coming from his ears. Like That's what it's like. It's like echolocation for me. You know what I mean? Like just the fucking waves coming from his ear, distributing his fucking voice pattern. Like it's just look at the fucking size of those things, dude.
They
Like,
are pretty impressive. They're like
holy
half of his
shit.
head. They're crazy. Yeah. Smart
But
commentary
I didn't know he had
out,
those.
I promise. But yeah, it's kind of distracting, and I only say that because he's saying terrible things, and he's going to go on to say more terrible things.
Much more.
Normally,
And
I
then
would
we're gonna get a
never
fucking
make fun of
bald
such
demon
thing.
next.
Yeah, it's gonna get way worse. Rounding out with Scott Bessent is interesting. I have no idea what he said, but I guess we have to like sandwich Miller so that you're not left with the Stephen Miller taste in your mouth.
In your mouth, yeah.
Yeah.
Far too long, however, our
You know, apparently Katie
counterterrorism
Miller thinks
doctrine
he's
has had a blind spot. A
sexual
blind spot when it
enigma.
comes
Labrador.
to extremist
Yeah.
violence from the
Ugh.
political left.
Gross.
Even today, the very
Jesse
idea
Waters
that
said
far
that.
left terrorism could be a serious threat is treated as a right-wing
Just
fever
fuck him,
dream,
Jesse Waters.
or worse, as a dangerous fascist conspiracy. It's treated this way by many in the press, by many in academia and our universities, and by many of our legacy.
Is he talking about the Trump administration? Sorry. I
Go back
missed.
a little bit, I guess. You want it 2 times it? I'm cool with it.
The threat has not disappeared, of course. It will continue to exist, particularly so long as we tolerate
We can
immigration
1.2 it
systems
if
that
you want.
imports these threats directly into our respective homelands. But this threat has been severely
plenty of time.
diminished. The world looks very different today because of it. For far too long, however, our counterterrorism doctrine has had a blind spot when it comes to extremist violence from the political left. Even today, the very idea that far left terrorism could be a serious threat is treated as a right-wing fever dream, or worse, as a dangerous fascist conspiracy. It's treated this way by many in the press, by many in academia and our universities, and by many of our legacy institutions. You will no doubt see the dogma rear its head in the coverage of this very conference. In spite of the clear and the undeniable reality, in spite of the objective numbers and statistics, in spite of the fact that in
Yeah.
this room today,
They want to smother you
there are
with
representatives from
fucking
across the
healthcare.
political spectrum.
Yeah,
We will
right?
hear this organized
Well, I love this reverse psychology he's trying to do. Like, oh, if we bring up the fascism at the beginning, then when they call us fascists, it's gonna sound
Right.
like, not that serious. Like, okay. Like, well, stop saying fascist things.
that this kind of
You
organized
should
violence
die
and
with
terror
clean water.
will be dismissed. It will be dismissed as a partisan fiction. A whole industry grew up in our countries around the study of extremism. We have think tanks and fellowships and journals and consultancies with the unspoken understanding among them that the only kind of political violence that was a true threat to our system, that only one kind of political violence was a true threat to the system. A bomb planted by a neo-Nazi group was a nefarious and murderous act of evil. It is. But a bomb planted by a Marxist revolutionary, well, that's just merely a tragic excess of idealism. Perhaps its means
Is
were
it
misplaced
though?
or overzealous.
Is it
Nobody-
though, Rubio?
Nobody thinks that. Like-
Nobody.
like,
Where are these Marxist terrorists, please?
right, like what
Can
bombs? Like,
Can you point to one?
I mean, we're always out at these protests, right? Like, you'd think we'd be blowing them up left, right, and sideways if apparently we have all these bombs everywhere. Like, the drama.
The neo-Nazi and the religious cultists are always bombing Planned Parenthoods. Those are constantly in the news. The
That's
other
true.
ones just are blue. This is the thing. That you go to Fox News watching the Five, it's all like, oh, these are sissy men with blue hair, nail polish. They can't do anything. They can't even run. They're stupid. And then you turn on to Marco Rubio going, these guys are fucking jihadists. Like,
Yeah, like,
did you
like,
pick one?
which is it? Yeah, exactly. Which is it? Yeah,
Are we blue-haired sissies?
we're Schrodinger's leftists over here. Like,
Right?
we're both violent extremists and low T sissies at the same time.
One of the things that Fox News is right now doing is going after like the education, right? You've seen that.
And of course,
Like, It's always these educated voters. Okay, so are we too busy learning about Marxist theories and reading about like literature and drawing photos, drawing paintings, or are we training in the paramilitary group because we're training for the next attack on at these protests? What is pick
Well,
one?
we're kind of doing
Pick one.
both, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
I guess. Who has the time?
we're in our books and we're in the gym.
Right.
Ideally,
Maybe that's why we're not able to
my
afford
ideal
our
self is
right. And the secret meetings are happening at like cafes with our $10 lattes. You know what I mean? That's where the secret meetings are happening.
yeah.
So,
I mean, the war on education is a whole different thing that we should talk about at some point because it's so evil, it's so nefarious. Only rich people get to be educated. Like,
right. And every time they want to like do the whole like, well, the educated voter are doing this. I'm like, did you go to college? This is the only question I want to ask. Like, it's the only question I want to ask him. Like,
damn right he did. He went to an Ivy League too. Like,
Yep.
and he's gonna send his kids there.
exactly.
Wherever his kids go now, it costs him $60,000 a year for
Yep,
elementary
sure
school.
does. Yeah.
So yeah.
Were virtuous and just. That's the implication of how they treated. For years, this extraordinary ideological prejudice was embedded in the way we talked about political violence and extremism. It was repeated again and again until it was accepted as the neutral and objective baseline, so entrenched in the mainstream conventional wisdom that it came to be regarded as an apolitical fact. It is the reason why here in my country,
so evil.
so many people.
Like we said it a million times. Like,
It's so bad.
I can't deal with how evil he's being right now. Like,
Yeah.
who is it that walks into churches, blows and shoots?
Who was Dylan
all the
Ruth?
congregations? Exactly. Like,
Can you tell me a little bit about this Dylan Ruth's Marxist ideologies and Leninist views points, please?
right? Because I was under the impression that he was a Christian extremist and racist,
Yeah.
but I guess not. I guess I was wrong.
Did you confiscate a Little Red Book from him? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Stupid.
And I mean, we could go on with the examples, but
People in positions of power have repeatedly dismissed acts of violence and even terrorism as legitimate forms of political expression so long as they served a left-wing cause. It is why during those so-called George Floyd riots in the summer of 2020, as criminals and extremists burned and
who killed people? Who killed people during the George Floyd riot? Or
Can you tell me that? Yes.
Like, who was the one? Because I believe the person who did is a right-wing personality now. So what would we call it? You know, pretty sure he's like had lunch with Trump and on TV with Trump. So, like, what are you trying to get at?
And what led to that? Can you just shed a light on a little bit on how George Floyd died? Just since you evoked his name, can you just shed a little bit of light on the nice things the police were doing that day? Can you just
that he was convicted for? Like, did we forget that? Like, that never happens, and it happened in this case. Like,
I'm sure Derek Chauvin had a copy of the Das Kapital sitting in his, police cruiser that day.
yeah, one of
was
those
just like-
Marxist cops. Yeah, you know.
Right. One of those Leninist believers. Yeah. Mao Zedong thought was deeply entrenched into his fucking life. Yep, sure thing.
The commies have infiltrated the police force. What are we gonna do?
Brother was reading Frantz
looted their way
Fanon.
to America's great cities and nearly brought the country to its knees. City governments all across the country simply refused to prosecute
BLM
people
brought
conducting
the
these acts of
country
violence and
to
terror.
its knees?
There's a reason for the now infamous image. Maybe you all recall this, of a news anchor from a very prominent agency, a news anchor, standing in a neighborhood, consumed in flames. Meanwhile, the chyron on the bottom read that the protests were mostly peaceful. This was something worse than a double standard. Left-wing violence was not just
Can we talk about
excused.
January 6th then? I hope you bring it up.
Or if we're gonna talk about journalists, I mean, what was it during I think it was just Minnesota where that journalist got, was it a rubber bullet?
Yeah.
That like grazed her or something like that? Or was it, Or
Wasn't
what
it like
was
somebody's
that?
eyes got taken out? Like they actually shot him in the eye?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it was like one of those can things that they have got kicked at her or something like that. I don't know. But like by a
Oh,
cop.
yes.
You know what I'm
Yep,
talking
yep,
about?
yep.
Like
Yes,
I
I know what
can't
you're talking
remember
about.
what exactly
In
it
Minnesota,
was.
that yep.
She was wearing like a blue shirt, I think. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
I
a
know,
younger
what
woman.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And she's saying like she's a journalist. She's wearing a vest saying press. Like she's
Yeah.
literally wearing a vest, and then it didn't. Oh, was it Minnesota? Because I think I saw this in LA too when the LA riots were happening. Well, I should
Maybe
say,
it
when
was.
the LA
It could have been
protests were happening.
LA. It could have been LA.
Um,
But I know it was like relatively recent.
yeah. Or one of the flags that I saw flowing behind him is an Israeli flag. Can we,
Yeah.
what do they got to say about journalists?
Yeah,
What do they got to say about
notoriously
journalists?
Great to journalists. Yeah.
Yeah, they're completely safe there.
Mhm.
Completely.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Treated as sacrosanct, a protected class unto itself. That era has to end. The coalition in this room today includes political leaders and experts and law enforcement officials from more than 60 countries across the world.
That's
You have
insane.
come here from a wide range of governments, parties, and political persuasions. Some of your governments and ours disagree publicly. Sometimes we disagree sharply about trade, about energy, about immigration. You did not come here today because you have been persuaded on every single aspect of the American view of the world. You came here. You are here because 2 weeks ago, a 72-year-old woman was burned on over 80% of her body in her own home in Greece, and she died, executed by a firebomb because her daughter dared to stand for office. You are here today because for 5 days this winter, the lights went out in Berlin, the longest blackout in the city since the Second World War, sparked by an attack that left tens of thousands of households without power in the freezing cold and left an 83-year-old woman dead.
Can
You
we
are here
talk
and you
about,
came because a month after
Cuba,
that Berlin
real
blackout,
quick, since
a
you want to
French
talk about blackouts?
23-year-old succumbed to traumatic.
Right.
Why is that happening, Rubio? Can you explain? Can you shed a little bit of light on that? Why the Cuban people are suffering right now? Their power grids completely collapsed. Can you thoughts, concerns there? No,
Must be the leftists.
must be the leftist.
brain injuries, beaten to death on the streets of Leon by a group of far-left militant thugs. You are here because your political leaders are being attacked and stabbed and shot in your streets, because your businesses have been bombed, because your railways have been sabotaged, because your police officers have been beaten and burned. You are here because this is real,
January 6th.
and it is getting worse, and it can no longer be denied, and it can no longer be ignored, because it is time to crush this evil forever. The simple fact is, none of this that I've just described is new. Far-left political terrorism is not a recent-day modern novelty. It is not a fiction manufactured by conservative politicians. For most of the modern era, it was, in fact, the dominant form of political violence. Every one of our friends here from the nations of the Western Hemisphere, remember the decades of kidnappings and bombings and assassinations and executions, the violent terror of the Tupamaros, of the Monteseros, of the FARC, of the ELN. You remember the
I love
inhuman
that he's struggling.
savagery of Peru's Shining Path, the Maoist fanatics who massacred the peasant villages of Peru, hacking pregnant women and newborn infants to death with axes and machetes. You remember the tens of thousands of Marxist guerrillas trained to kill in Castro's terrorist camps. All of you here from Europe remember. You remember the machine gun massacres of Italy's Red Brigades, which held the 5-time prime minister captive for 55
Do you want
days
to talk about Hitler a
before
little too
subjecting
there?
him to a revolutionary so-called people's trial and
Or
executing
Operation
him
Gladio?
in 1978.
If we're gonna
You
talk
remember
about Italy,
the Red
like,
Army faction's nearly 3
What?
decade campaign of
Mussolini?
bombing, kidnapping, and assassinations in Germany, murdering
No?
dozens and injuring hundreds more. You remember the 17 November organization in Greece, the Marxist extremists that terrorized Athens for more than a quarter century, including, by the way, shooting my country's CIA station chief dead outside of his home, in front of his wife, as they were returning
CIA
home
chief?
from a Christmas party. And here in America, we remember.
No.
We remember the same reign of deadly terror,
Because they've never done anything
justified by the
wrong.
same slogans, motivated by the same wicked ideas. We remember the Weather Underground, which bombed the Pentagon, which bombed the State Department, and bombed the Capitol. We remember the Black Liberation Army, which staged armed robberies and executed police officers at point-blank range. We remember the Symbionese Liberation Army, which shot a public school superintendent to death with cyanide-packed hollow point bullets. In one 18-month period between 1971 and 1972, the FBI counted some 2,500 bombings on American soil, a rate of nearly 5 a day. The overwhelming share of that violence came from left-wing extremists. Between 1970 and 1980, 93% of terrorist attacks in the West came from the far extremist left. These are numbers that would shock most Americans today because we've been taught to believe that this kind of political violence, it simply doesn't exist, or it's being exaggerated.
Who is the far political left then? Like, are we talking, like, are we trying to label, like, the Taliban and all that? Like, are we trying to, like, as far left? Like, these are inherently far right groups. Like, we're on right crime here. Like,
Right.
what are we
And
talking
again,
about?
and no, well, okay, well, okay, what if it's a right-wing terrorist fascistic government and like these people could literally be freedom fighters fighting back? What they're supposed to not fight for their fucking freedoms? How are they supposed to do that?
Well, right, exactly. I mean, we're going to disparage any form of political violence or violence, period, when we're out there bombing school children, you know, bombing schools. We're bombing people for like over a year now. We've been bombing people in bodies of water just because we can, and then
Right.
bombing them again.
I completely forgot about that.
Even
I
though
completely
that's
forgot
like
about that.
that's like a complete war crime. Like you're not allowed to do that.
Perfidy, like,
I was trying to think of that word earlier, and I couldn't think of it. I don't know. It was weird. I always
we were
forget that
disguising
word
our
for some
fucking
reason.
bombing planes as radio planes.
I mean, it's like
That's
we're
literal
like
perfidy.
you guys are like the warmongers. Like you changed the Department of Defense, Department of War.
Right.
The secretary talks about the warrior spirit all the time. He's trying to pump everybody full of testosterone right now. Like
Warriors ethos.
like, it's not making sense to
At all.
me. And it's also like if you're trying to say that this is because we have to remember to people like to Trump and Miller, like they're going to talk about like Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren as the like that's the radical left to them. Very centrist people, radical left to them. So it's like, well, why aren't you doling out charges left and right for all this violence they're inciting and apparently doing? Like,
Right.
where is it? You know,
Yeah.
like who is the radical left then? Like, who are the militant groups? Like,
Yeah. You know, and part of him doing all these, like, because somebody like me and you will actually check this and realize that he's bullshitting, right? Anybody that's not in politics at all, he's probably gonna hear all these fucking dates and events that the Rubio's listed and
it's
go
all
like,
evidence, right?
oh wow, like this guy has a ton of evidence, so there maybe is something out there. That's point one. And the other thing is you hit the nail on something that is what's exactly wrong with the Democratic Party, right? Because the Democratic Party, like fucking Mike Sherrill and Elisa Slotkin, whatever, they're CIA. They're former CIA. They agree with all of this. They agree with every single word that he's saying. And the reason they agree with every single word he's saying is because they think this is important, that the left is their enemy, right? They think he's the friend. And Stephen Miller, on the other hand, looks at Elisa Slotkin and looks at Mikey Sherrill and looks at Chuck Schumer and goes, I'm going to put you in jail.
Right. Yeah,
I'm going to put you in a torture
for
dungeon.
your far left.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. So if the Democrats
Yeah.
do not speak up about this, which of course they haven't, because they think they're gonna, Marco Rubio is only gonna go after the DSA members or anything like that. No.
no. Like,
No.
and it's obvious.
They don't make
I
a
mean, you
distinction.
have to, but they have to know this at this point. Like, you're the targets.
They don't.
here.
They
And,
don't.
well, that's I know, and it's so insane to me. And
Right.
we keep feel like they thinking, or like the idea of the Democratic Party is to keep pushing like to the right and try to like acquiesce to them. It's like that's just gonna put you in jail faster and
Yeah.
push us further to the right. Like
I watched a Fox interview where she invited a Democratic strategist and a Republican strategist, and all three of them are sitting there shitting on the DSA. And like the Democratic strategist is sitting there going like, they're not part of the Democratic Party. They don't belong with us. Little does she know, the other two Republicans on Fox News are literally going, well, they're part of your party. They're using the D. So when it comes times, like it's your responsibility. Like you're gonna go along with them. But she's over there sitting like, no, we're not the same. They don't think that. How dumb do you have to be? They don't think that. They don't care.
It's really frustrating because it's like they're gonna label you as the opposition whether you behave that way or not. So it's like
exactly,
should
they're your enemy.
Be one, you know. So
and to speak to the Republicans that listen to speeches like this and think this is all great, once they're done with the Democrats, they'll start with the DSA. Then they'll go to the centrist Democrats. Once they're done with them, you're the only thing left. They will come for you. They will come for you too. They just will.
They're gonna start there. They're gonna start. The centrist Democrats in office right now are the target, and they're saying it out loud. They're the target because they're the people who have power, who have the only power to block them from doing anything. So and the judges, all that. So it's like it doesn't make any sense to.
No, but what I'm saying is like, you might agree with this administration now, but tomorrow when you don't, you're the enemy.
Sure.
Then
you're talking about Republicans.
I'm talking about Republicans. Republicans.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were still talking about Democrats. I was like,
no.
They're the first ones on the chopping block.
Yeah. No, but once the DSA, they're done with the DSA, then they'll go to the centrist Democrats, right? Like, because then they'll be the next. And then once they're done with everything else, when the monsters have nobody left to fucking feed on,
left to speak for you.
And then they'll come after you. Then they'll come after the Republicans. Because again, you might agree with everything that's going on today.
Yeah, but there's going to be something.
There's going to be something. Then it'll be like, well, the Protestants are all the bad ones. Oh, no, the evangelicals are the bad ones. Oh, no, it's the Catholics are all the bad ones. You know what I mean? Once you go down this, it's the same classical Napoleon thing, right? Like the French Revolution. Like once the French Revolution started, they started chopping off Marie Antoinette, Louis, whatever, all the sisters and all that stuff. Like once they got done with them, they'd be like, because people, like the snowball effect, right? People were like, who's next?
Right.
And they started chopping off their own people. They started putting their own revolutionary leaders under the guillotine. They're like, oh, you didn't fight hard enough. Oh, we didn't see you at that battle. We didn't see you there. What were you doing with this much, right? You're gone. You're done. That's where the whole Napoleon and all the other the people that were left over, they were like, well, how the fuck do we stop this? Like they could come for us fucking any minute, right? Like any little faction on the street mob could get together, drag us out on the fucking field. Like how do we get rid of it? They invented nationalism. That's how the nationalism got invented, right? Then Napoleon and all these people were like, well, we're French. Look at what we done with our revolution. We were so superior that we overthrew our monarchy. Look at all the monarchies around us. We got to spread this motherfucker, right? Like so it's these people, they think like once the Democrats, they're done with the Democrats, oh, it'll be over. America will be great. America will be free. Everything will be over. No. That's not what happens. That monster needs to be fed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the purity test will just keep getting stricter and stricter and stricter.
Exactly.
I mean, Rubio will probably go down for being, in his past, a more centrist Republican, right? Like
they'll get him too.
They'll
get him too. Oh, you're not an American. You're a Cuban.
Exactly. I didn't even think about that aspect. I mean, he won't even make it to his political side just because of his ethnicity.
He thinks he'll get to stop it. It'll stop with all his enemies. No. There's always somebody nuttier. There's always somebody crazier.
Yeah, and he's speaking right after you.
He's speaking right after you. He's speaking right after you. Yes.
Right? Like,
You think they're going to stop with the women? No. Cash is next. Cash Patel is next. They're going to get the brown guy.
yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It is interesting how long that's taking, though. He's getting
Yeah.
a lot of liberties.
Trump
out
likes
there.
him, though. That's the thing. That's what's saving Pete, too. Trump
Mm.
likes him.
Mm.
They just because they suck a little harder than everybody else. The
Sure.
sucking that goes on Trump, it's harder from those two than anybody else. Rubio has too much shit on his plate, so he'll never get rid of him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Rubio runs that entire administration. Stephen Miller, he's like, I can't be the face of it because as soon as they hear me talk, they go, "Oh, this is evil.
Yeah.
This is evil."
Yeah. Well,
So he's like,
he
"I'm good at
realizes
that."
he needs to be a background guy. That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just Pete and Scott Besson and all those, but like they have too much money. Howard Lutnick and Scott Besson, they're like these guys have too much money. I'm not gonna be able to figure out all this business shit. I'm just gonna let them deal with it, right?
Mhm.
And then Pete and Cash Patel are the only two ones. They're like, well, I need cash in there, so like
Royal ass
they don't
kisses.
start investigating me. Yeah. Like I don't need the FBI to be looking into my shit. I need to use them as a fucking military force.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is. That's what's saving them. Because if it was anybody else that Trump like remotely didn't like, all the L's that Pete Hegseth's been taking, he'd be gone. He would have been gone. But anyways.
Exaggerated, but it does exist, and we're actually underestimating it. And our nations bear the scars to prove it. And today we face a new wave of this old evil. Here in the United States, the share of left-wing terrorist attacks and plots has risen to levels not seen in decades. In Germany, far-left violence has jumped by more than 40% in just the last year alone. In Greece,
Really?
more than 80% of radical violence is now driven by far-left and anarchist actors. These are not abstract statistics. Americans have seen what those numbers mean. An all-out assault on our immigration officers, sniper attacks, explosives, armed ambushes, a transgender shooter opening fire on Catholic elementary school students as they pray, his gun marked with slogans like, "Where is your God now?" A healthcare executive executed in cold blood in the streets, multiple assassination attempts on a sitting president, and the murder of the greatest conservative activist of a generation, a man who happened to also be a husband and the father of 2 young children, shot and killed while speaking to a crowd of students. This is a distinctive and unique evil. It has always been driven by a hatred.
They're pulling the
above all
Charlie
else,
Kirk in
a hatred
this,
for
man.
civilization.
They're making
Of
him into a
course.
martyr.
It is a revolt of the worst against the best,
Yeah. I mean,
a revolt of the weak and the
we
cowardly
figured as much,
against the
right?
strong and the good. It is perpetrated by those who cannot build, who cannot create, who cannot achieve great things, and take their revenge upon the world for their own inadequacy by seeking to destroy those who can. This is what radical leftism is. It may wear various different slogans and
Oh, it's
ideologies
literally you
across
don't work
place and
hard
time.
enough. That's why you
They
don't
can call
have
themselves
anything.
anti-capitalists or anti-imperialists or communists or anarchists or Marxists, but the fundamental character is always the same. It's always the same. It is a poisonous resentment cloaked in the language of equality and justice, and liberation.
Yes,
an
we
overwhelming
resent
need to tear down
trillionaires
what
and
greater men have built, to wreck what is beautiful and what is right on behalf of people who are
What greater men have built.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of another speech that Stephen Miller gave a couple months ago of him saying like, "You build." He said the one he ripped off of Goebbels, right? Like,
Yes.
we built
At the
built
funeral?
nothing, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
It's just trying to take credit for things that we know have so much more nuance, right? Like, you're gonna say like, "Oh, we built the Empire State Building." Well, immigrants and like extremely low paid, like, you know,
Right.
people of color built the Empire State Building. Just because some white dude or whatever funded it, you know, doesn't mean like, and everything was built that way. Like, I mean, a lot of people who have a lot of money in this day and age, it descends from slavery. So it's like,
Yep.
you built nothing.
You've built nothing.
We see the art that you guys create is terrible. Like, you know, if we want to talk about that, like,
If we want to play that music video, we certainly can.
I think we played it to death
Yes.
by playing it that one time that we did
Yes.
a couple months ago.
Yes.
Only
Yeah.
filled with ugliness.
And it was by a
and nothing else
Canadian.
to offer the world. Through violence and through terror,
Sycophants.
they once again seek to impose their ugliness on all of us. The old dogma was wrong. The old dogma was wrong. None of this is driven by idealism. It is not utopian. In fact, it is the opposite. One of the criticisms you sometimes hear of communism, for example, is that it sounds good in theory, but it never works in practice. That's actually not true. Communism does not sound good in theory. The world it envisions for all of us is small, flat, gray, leveled of all exception, drained of all that is good and noble in the human soul. The world it envisions is a world without courage, a world without creativity or ambition, a world without heroes or glory or great causes to strive towards, a world without miracles, without myths, without men who rise above the rest to do incredible and extraordinary
I
things.
just don't think
And the world
that,
communism envisions.
like, I just don't think like lunch debt for kids should exist. Like, I'm not trying to drain the world of its color. Like, I just think we should feed children, and it shouldn't be controversial. Again, I mean, I don't know how many times we have to make this joke, but it's
Can we just breathe clean air? Like,
yeah.
can my entire water supply, drinkable water supply, not evaporate because somebody wants to make AI porn? Like,
right, because somebody's asking like dumbass questions that they could easily like look up anywhere else.
right.
I mean, it's just
frustrating.
It's so frustrating because it's like they're creating this idea. Sorry, go ahead. Say what you were gonna say. I lost my.
No. Finish your thought. I have a question for you, but so finish your thought.
No, go ahead. It's gone. It left me.
How many people do you interact with? I don't interact with a lot of people. You know what I mean? On a daily basis.
I
like
stay in the room like all day. I can't. Like I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Well, so the few people that I interact with, they're all using ChatGPT to ask like the fucking stupidest shit instead of just Googling it like the normal way. And this person walking around my house and staring at me does the fucking same thing, dude. Like just Google it instead of asking ChatGPT. She got us lost in France, by the way. Got us on the wrong bus because she was asking ChatGPT which bus to take. ChatGPT doesn't know what bus to take. Just Google it. It'll tell you a lot faster. Dude, just look at it.
Oh man.
Just look at it. So I was watching the game with my boys, Argentina versus England yesterday. And we're talking about like just random statistics, and we're talking about like, well, so Barcelona, the football club, when they play Real Madrid, it's a much bigger deal than like the Super Bowl, which only gets like 120 million views. That game alone, there's just one regular ass game that happens 4 times a year, gets 650 million people. I Googled it normally, just quick little Google search, it just popped up right there. He's sitting on ChatGPT trying to fucking do it. I'm like, you don't have to be on ChatGPT. You don't have to be. I promise you don't have to be. I mean, it's annoying that like
to be fair,
Google does the AI thing now.
Google search. I was gonna say I don't know if the Google search is that much better.
Any better? Yeah, because they do that little thing.
But I and it's all like one right now anyway. Like this is all like mostly funded by Google and shit anyway. So
yeah.
But yeah, I do get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of normalized at this point to use it. I mean, I use it for stuff. Like I'm not gonna pretend like I never use it. I usually just
used
Google
to.
things.
I don't anymore.
Ever?
No, like I can't remember the last time I've used it. I'll put it that way.
Oh, good for you.
It's just wrong all the time. Like it's just okay. So did I send you that video with Kathy Hochul?
Yes. Yeah. I watched it.
I like that.
That was fun.
I like that.
Yeah,
I can see the use of it like that.
From what she described, I kept thinking like, is it a necessary usage of anyone's time though?
But it's so
like
many
if these aren't enforced and if they don't really mean anything, like this just seems kind of like a waste of time. Like I get wanting to clean up, but like
yeah,
really
I can
necessary.
see that
I don't know.
too. It's not like it's like a tank, like you know what I mean. It's like it's not like storage for
It
these
seems like
laws,
a
right?
little bit of waste of resources.
Like we
but
got to get rid of some of the older ones, like delete some of the old photos before you can take
before
some
we
new
can make
ones.
more, yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
everything on there is probably overwritten. Like she mentioned when like pregnant women can't work after 12 or whatever, but it's like, okay, well, that's overridden by like the Civil Rights Act. You know, like it's an illegal law now. You can't do anything with it. Like just leave it
Or
alone.
one of the things was
But,
like, well, you got to like pay $25 to take your dog hunting. Who is enforcing this? Right. Who's doing that? Right. But it's also like the counterpoint to that is like I can see somebody just being an asshole about it. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's like a law that's like a loophole that nobody cares about, but they can use it to their own advantage or something like that. You know what I mean? Like maybe like that like thing can arise or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I mean, I get that sense that there's like, I mean, if it's technically on the book
could be something useful
that like counteracts it, then technically somebody could use it for some like nefarious purpose. Or
yeah.
I think that'd be more rare, but I mean, yeah, it's kind
Like my point is like
to me, it was I read it as like a neutral thing. It's like okay, like it's not necessarily bad, but it's not like good either because it's not like
useful. But it could be like but you know what it is, like if you hired a person to like comb through all these old unnecessary laws, they're probably going to come up with like 1,000 of these, like this is just such a waste of time, and there might be like one law in there that's like you know what I mean, like oh this is really impactful, and it would take years for a person to do, whereas AI would just take months, like she said, right? So I could see like maybe there's like if it found like 1 or 2 laws that like really did impact people, okay, worth it, sure. You know what I mean? Like if it was really impactful, like hey, we can take a look at this and like overlook, you know, we can change this up, like this is impactful. So I could see the point of it. I can see the point of it. Whereas like just searching like you know which bus to take in France, like you don't need to do that. We don't fucking need to do that.
Oh man. Hey, we don't.
And we got on the wrong one anyways.
Well, you know, ChatGPT isn't perfect. What can you do?
But it's wrong so many times.
Yeah. I haven't caught it being super wrong, but yeah, you're being a jerk. I hope she's giving you like some shit over there.
She's giving you shit.
I don't even know what to say. I'm like, oh, let's not be that podcast right now. like you know, I'm just like annoyed.
She's yelling at me for bringing this up. She says she's annoyed because I'm talking about it. I didn't play a video, bro. I'm in the correct here.
Is a world without God.
Men deserve rights.
For these architects of revolutionary violence, the towering achievement of our civilization, for them,
it's an
unbearable humiliation, a reminder of what they cannot do, and a reminder of what they cannot be.
We are that
so they choose instead to destroy. They attack pipelines. They attack railroads. They attack power grids and laboratories, the physical embodied symbols of power and invention and achievement. This is the nature of the terrorism we face today. They despise the West because the West is great. This is an international conference because we are facing an international.
This is a continuation of his fucking security speech.
These are not distinct and isolated cells. Hey, they are interconnected networks. They do not recognize our borders. They do not believe, in fact, in the nation state itself. They coordinate, they communicate, they travel, they train, and they act together.
Where?
Sharing the same infrastructure.
Where are they training?
Sharing the same enemies. Sharing the same mission.
I guess
Antifa militants and their comrades travel from across Europe and to the Americas to participate in each other's attacks, to funnel propaganda and training materials and target information through shared encrypted channels, moving through underground networks of safe houses and finance, and sustain their operations through transnational funds. And they work alongside hostile foreign states that share their mission, like Iranian proxy networks, who are increasingly intimately tied to leftist militant groups around the world. The Cuban regime's sprawling intelligence and ideological network helped to build the far left in our country and in our hemisphere.
mean,
And it
again,
remains
you can't
inextricably
just
linked to the
call
far left
any
groups and movements
adversary far
across
left.
and beyond the West.
You know, it doesn't.
Today's far left terrorists
The
can raise money in
IRGC
one
is far
country.
left.
They can host their
The
communications in a second country.
IRGC.
They can receive training in a third country. They can recruit militants in a fourth country. And then together strike a target in a fifth country. And so we have no choice but to confront this menace together. We will either cooperate across our borders, or the terrorists will continue to exploit the gaps between them. Under President Trump, for the first time, the United States is building the infrastructure, the partnership, and the strategy to defeat the scourge of far-left terror. The President signed National Security Presidential Memorandum Number 7, outlining a comprehensive strategy to investigate and disrupt Antifa terror networks and their allies. Last November, the State Department designated 4 violent far-left extremist groups as foreign terrorist organizations, and there will be more designations soon. In December, we announced Rewards for Justice, offering up to $10 million for information disrupting the financing behind these groups. In May,
there's a
we
$10
convened the
million
first
price tag on our
counterterrorism
head.
law enforcement workshop, joining American law enforcement officials and their counterparts in our partner country nations
turn you in?
together to map and
I
develop
found the
strategies
Antifa
for
leader.
dismantling these networks. The next workshop will be co-hosted with our partners in Germany. The coalition we're building together is
Ryan
already
Aries, I'm
bearing
turning
fruit.
you in, brother.
And we are here
You're the
today
co-chair of
to
the
build
Antifa party.
on that work.
Yep.
We can
I need
and
that
we
10
must.
million, brother.
identify and map
Sorry.
this threat and rebuild our counterterrorism architecture to defeat it, just as we have done together before. Now we must do it together again. Through intelligence and information sharing, through coordinated law
Where's
enforcement
W
strategy,
Twitcher? I
through
need
financial
the true
targeting and disruption,
anti-fascist.
we will
You gonna
dismantle
fight?
these networks.
Used to
Rick,
be like,
I
have a
brick.
little fight.
It is time
Yes, today.
for the people of the civilized world to defend ourselves, to stand united against this encroaching darkness.
Looter's not
Fight.
that fun though, because he always
Fight for
breaks
what is
down,
ours.
you know?
It is
Like,
easy to
and then
destroy
he just
great
brings
things.
up a different
It is
topic.
far more difficult to make them.
Be
The
like, let
enemies
the
of
trans
civilization
people-
are only capable of the former.
You're
They're
done.
only
You
capable of
don't have
destroying great
anything else
things.
to say.
All they know is
Yeah.
destruction. But we have built great things together. We have done it time and again. We know what we must do, and now we must do it. Thank you for coming today.
Here we go. Of course, the Indian flag would be there.
I tried to look up some
course.
fact checking on this, but it doesn't look like anything's out really yet. But
No.
because
She doesn't.
I don't necessarily know that he like lied or said anything necessarily wrong, but it's also like, I mean, we were doing it the whole time. Like every time he brought up something that was done in a supposed leftist name, we had an immediate counter that was far right, fascistic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's
Yeah.
like this is just kind of reality right now. Like, and I mean, he had to go all the way, like, he had to go back in time and, like, to other countries to bring up
Yeah.
examples. Like, all of our examples are, like, what your administration is actively doing right now.
Exactly. No, it's I hate these speeches too because there's no pushback at all. You know, it's just like whatever he says, we just have to take it for face value and it's just have to believe
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? Like it's just ridiculous. Anyways,
Yeah,
I guess this is what you get with power. Yeah, 100%, 100%. But this is what happens when you have power, right? Like you just get to say and do whatever you feel like doing, right? Like that's just what it is. That's just what it is. And then Republicans are so good at doing that. When the Democrats are in power, they don't do any of this. And if they do this, they do the same exact shit he's doing. You know what I mean? Like it's just silly. It's just super silly. Anyway, the true demon is about to come on though.
I was gonna say, should we?
The grand wizard of fucking 7th layer of hell. Yeah.
Are we ready for him? Let's see. Yeah, he is next. All right.
Fucking Beelzebub
Now,
himself.
I want to introduce someone I work with very closely and has been a leader in this field. He is a deputy chief of
course.
staff and one of the key advisors to President Trump. He also heads up all of our homeland security initiatives
I
and
just
understands
realized
this
I
issue
haven't
probably
had
as well as
it,
anyone in the United States government, Stephen Miller.
Oh, my bad.
I love the little hand thing too. Just
Good morning, distinguished leaders and guests. Good to see
perfect
so many familiar
Nazism.
faces. And thank you, of course, to Secretary of State Rubio for organizing this conference and for
Just
leading
like quick
this
little Heil
initiative.
Hitler.
Yeah.
Here in the
Cat-
Quick
United
little one.
States, we have taken the necessary and essential action of formally recognizing left-wing violence as
Not a
a form
single hair.
of political terrorism that is a
President.
direct threat to our national security and the survival of our Republican form of government.
Just walking around looking like a dildo.
President
is
Trump
insane.
issued a directive.
Is he on downers? He's talking a lot slower than normal.
He is, isn't he? He's
Do you think they had him? They were like, you need a little chill pill to get you through this.
Listen, Steven, you know how you get
You
when you
know how
haven't
you
had.
get.
You know it is. Can't have this, brother.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. I mean, his eyes are looking a little droopy too.
It is.
I mean, we have to open with comments on their appearance and their speech patterns, right? Like,
Just a pure. I swear to God, all I
Yes, sir.
see is a thumb. Like it's just a thumb. Like walking,
Yeah.
talking thumb.
why do I look so red again? I just realized that. I'm not sunburned this time. I need to fix my.
Do you have a light shining on you or no?
No, I have to get one.
Well, when you get it, like
It's
when the light
overhead.
shines from the top, yeah. Well, it's like a shadow kind of gets on your face, but if it's like
Yeah.
more from like the front, it's cheap. You can get one on like
Yeah, I just keep kind of neglecting
Amazon.
to do it. You know, so.
like a ring
but-
light or something like
But
that.
I will. I'll make it.
$5.
Make me not look so red. 'Cause
Yeah.
I promise that's not what I actually look like. Sorry, I just noticed and got really like annoyed by it. Okay, let's.
Why am I
listen
a
to
carrot?
In our parlance, it's called the
Exactly,
National Security
exactly.
Presidential Memorandum, or NSPM. NSPM 7, to be exact.
Did I just get boiled?
That directs, for the first time in American
That's
history,
what it looks like.
all of our law enforcement and intelligence agencies to work together to disrupt, identify, defund, debank, arrest, and prosecute these political
Douchebag.
terrorists that are operating in our
That's
country.
another D word for you.
It's very
Yeah.
important to understand that left-wing political
Good one,
terrorism
good one.
seeks as its ultimate end the overthrow of our system and form of government. And we've seen this has taken place many times in many places throughout the years, and Secretary Rubio has provided you many examples. Left-wing terrorism always ends in bloodshed, misery, and suffering. It only can travel in one direction. There's no point at which the left-wing terrorist is satisfied with his gains and ceases progressing. Inevitably, left to run its course, it always becomes a gulag. It always becomes the mass imprisonment of political enemies, the stripping of their rights
Okay.
and freedom, inflicting immense pain, humiliation, suffering,
How is
in order
Katie
to
Miller
establish
pregnant?
complete
Yeah,
and total
he's-
control through psychological
Yikes.
and
How was
physical
he
and
able to
actual
fucking
terror.
procreate?
And we have to understand that that is the scope and the extent of the threat that we face. As Secretary Rubio also pointed out, this is an international network. Antifa, as an example, operates in dozens of countries all throughout the world. They share common networks of funding, organization, and information sharing. And so all of our intelligence agencies and law enforcement entities should be collaborating and coordinating and working together in order to root out these organizations. One of the hallmarks of left-wing violence and terrorism
He is talking
is
slow.
its
Why is he talking
completely
slow?
pretextual and disingenuous
This is 1.2
appeal
speed.
to civil
Yeah, we're
liberties.
at 1.2.
in an
I think we're
effort
actually at
to shield its own
1.5.
violence. This is the tactic that
And he's
the left
usually-
always
I mean, when
uses
he's
to try to protect
calling in
itself
on Fox
from
or whatever,
facing
he's like,
oh,
yeah,
criminal
exactly.
punishment. It is essential that we are wise enough and
nervous?
strong enough to
In front
understand
of all these,
that these appeals
leaders?
must fall on deaf ears. When the leftist,
Maybe.
who does not believe in freedom, who does not believe in civil rights, who does not believe in any ordered notion of justice, protest that we are violating his rights, understand that he is lying to try to persuade people who are not closely following the political scene
what's
that
up, Deluxe? Yeah,
some
I'm
injustice has
Punjabi,
been
bro.
perpetrated against him. We must stay the course and be
Punjabi,
completely
am I?
unflinching
I
in the
was
pursuit
born there.
of justice
Is that
against
good
these
enough?
enemies of civilization.
I was born
If
there.
the left is allowed to use the real or actual threat of violence to destabilize our institutions, then those institutions cannot and will not succeed. So here in the United States, for example, we
I
saw
don't
in
know.
the
I don't
recent
know who that
past
is.
clear threats of violence against our Supreme Court to try to shape how they rule on
You're kind
upcoming
of right
decisions.
that Rubio
The
is
leftist
like
does this with
not
the
a
full
bad
desire,
speaker, though,
intent,
because
and
like
Yeah,
I'm
not
already
at all.
bored. I'm
that
bored.
the threat of violence
with
against
Very much
people.
bored.
They're
a
like,
public figure or their family is meant to cow them into behaving or acting or conducting themselves differently.
Hmm. That's a little weird
"Ooh,
question, brother. I don't know how to answer that. I know what you want me to say.
Had the
depending on
combination
how,
of
which way
a
you
violent
lean,
left-wing organization threatening our
but
nation's
I got
highest
no answer
court
for that.
and the federal government and the Department of Justice turning a blind eye to it. Those are the conditions in which this kind of violence can fester as the cancer and ultimately destroy a society. Nothing that
Is
we
it
do
easy?
works
Okay.
if the threat of violence and terror goes
You
on
answer it
unchecked.
first.
Our political systems don't work. Our judicial systems don't work. Our legal systems don't work. Our jury trials don't work. And at the same time, we have to understand there's a real threat that those who are not themselves terrorists, but who support
you.
left-wing violence,
Well, there you go,
will
man.
create the conditions that allow that violence to go on without any meaningful inhibition. So to be specific, we've seen some of our nation's cities in America, like Washington, D.C. and New York City, something, again, it's an American term, but it's known as jury nullification. This is when a person is obviously guilty of a crime, but the juror, because they're ideologically sympathetic to the perpetrator, will not sentence them to the crime which was obviously committed. We've seen in the United States again and again
Hey, man.
individuals who are part of left-wing organizations who
That's
committed
cool with
assaults
me.
against ICE officers or federal law enforcement who've been brought to
Keep your
court
money, brother.
where clear evidence
good
has
on
been
it.
presented against them, that the jury has refused to convict for purely political reasons.
That's all it takes.
When you've reached that point, it demonstrates how deeply the cancer has begun to infest your society, where people have created an internal rationalization
You're real
structure
cool, bro.
to justify unsanctioned violence
Good for you.
against the state and state actors to achieve a political end. We have to use every lawful and legitimate tool that we have to demonstrate that justice will be served and delivered, and to prove that these kinds of tactics and techniques will ultimately fail. If the leftist learns and observes that their violence and criminal activity helps and ultimately
Funny
succeeds
you
in
think
achieving
Biden
their
even
desired
sucks.
political end,
That's
they will
funny.
be endlessly emboldened. Here in the United States, we've seen a growing and deeply alarming increase in attempted assassinations against public figures. Most notably, of course, the multiple assassination attempts against President Trump, the successful assassination attempt against Charlie Kirk, many others. This is a fatal cancer to civilization. And the
And
greatest
several of
risk
the
that we
Trump
have is that our
attempts
institutions
weren't even
have grown too soft
leftist
and too
right?
cowardly to be able to
They were
defend
by
themselves
his
against a
own
mortal threat.
people. They were by Republicans.
If your
right
civilization
wings.
is your home,
Republican voters.
you must defend it with the same passion and force as if an enemy intruder is inside your own house where your family lives. That is the level of dedication and urgency that is required. And the greatest threat is that even though there are far more of us, there are far more people who believe in order and civilization and liberty and the rule of law, is that if we are softer than those who seek to end us, then the smaller but more radical minority will succeed. It is easy to dismiss what I'm saying and to say, surely it cannot be that bad, it cannot be that dire. But again, I point to the examples in our own country where, for example, our Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which has been duly statutory authorized to carry out routine enforcement of immigration law, has been subjected to an over 8,000% increase in violent assaults. These are not one-off episodes. This is repeat,
8,000%
systemic,
increase.
organized, funded insurrection and armed resistance against the federal government. There was a sniper from a sniper's nest who, using an assault rifle, tried to shoot ICE officers in Dallas, Texas. These are the episodes that we're talking about, where we have had repeated, direct, violent attacks
That
on
happened
federal
for
law enforcement
leftists, not because
in
you
order
guys are
to
doing
veto
fuck shit
the
with
ballot
ICE.
box
Sure.
with violence.
That happened because
And the
of
leftist justifies this violence to himself
Well, right, exactly.
by saying
it happened in a bubble.
they
They're-
alone
they're-
are the
ICE hasn't
arbiters
killed anyone
of what
or
is right
anyone.
or wrong. Not the law, not history, not civilization, not public opinion, certainly not God. The leftist assumes for himself judge, jury, executioner. But let's not pretend for a moment that
Like we said that earlier
these
about
radical
ICE.
leftists, these terrorists, are operating from a place of sincere political conviction. Sure, there are plenty of useful idiots that they use who may believe these discredited ideologies. The leftist is fundamentally motivated by envy, by hatred.
His mannerism
By
is so
jealousy.
Nazi. It's crazy.
The leftist looks at what is beautiful and what is good and what is natural and is filled with envy and hatred. The leftist looks at a perfect family with a perfect life and a perfect job and perfect kids. It goes to church every Sunday and is filled with a feeling of inadequacy and jealousy, and they covet, and they turn those emotions ultimately into a desire to subjugate, to oppress, and to inflict pain and suffering. It's not a coincidence that when you look at these violent Antifa demonstrations, you see any photograph of those who were assembled. To be blunt, not one of the people that is demonstrating looks like a normal person. Not one looks normal. They're all deformed in some way in their appearance, in their dress, in their mannerism. Why is that? Why? You look at two photographs and you see a normal American street, you see an Antifa protest. Why do the people that are violently demonstrating, why is there not one normal looking person among them? Every one of them, through the course of their life and their decisions, has scarred their body and their
Talk
appearance.
about normal looking, brother.
in
Mirror.
many different ways, to the point to which their outer
right.
appearance
Ghetto,
becomes a
black.
manifestation of their inner hatred. Trust your instincts. to all people and across all civilizations. You know what normal is. You know what beautiful is. You know what good is. You know that families are right. You know that children are precious and beautiful and must be protected. You know that the criminal and
That's
the
why
junkie
you don't want to feed
and
the
the
blood.
predator
Real Nazi.
is a threat to normal, healthy living. This is so much
He's
deeper
waking
than
up. He's
than
waking
issues
up.
about taxation
Yeah,
and
they're
regulation,
wearing
although they're
off.
incredibly important.
The
It's about
Nazis wearing off.
normal, healthy, ordered living. And the violent leftists, for these deep-seated reasons, going back to the earliest wisdom taught to us in the Bible about coveting. And I'm not talking about rich versus poor. I'm talking about a much deeper kind of coveting. Coveting people who are morally superior, who are superior in the simple, truthful way
Superior?
they live their lives.
Morally superior people.
That they look at who are happy and ordered and peaceful and contributing to the communities. That burns an ember in them, and that's how you end up with the horrors we've seen throughout history, where good families are dragged out into the street and executed. And you might say, again, you're describing a future that seems impossible to conceive of. When it comes to preventing these horrors, it is the burden and the duty of good people of all walks of life to understand that you will always be accused of raising the alarm too loudly. If you wait until the point where the worst outcome is so obvious that no one can deny it, you've already lost the battle. That's the fundamental point. If you say, I will not raise this alarm until the threat is so present and so clear and so obvious and so imminent that none can deny it, it's already too late. It's already too late. I would rather prevent a threat from occurring and be accused for the rest of my life of having falsely raised the alarm, knowing
People
in
don't
myself
understand.
that I was right,
This is him.
than for fear of being
And he
judged,
needs
having
to
waited too long until the point of no
preeminently
return has been
strike
crossed.
Americans.
The good news is that we are far away from
Before
the point
they've
of no
even
return.
committed a crime
So all of
at
us
all.
should organize together and work together for the good and the benefit of all the people in our societies, of all walks of life, of all persuasions, to deliver for them what they are justly entitled to, which is to live with safety, with fundamental human dignity, and with the ability to live in peace and
That's
harmony
insane
with their
shit.
families and neighbors. Thank you all, and God bless.
Holy moly. You know
This
what
dude
normal
wants to-
families look like. You know
Yeah.
what beautiful is. That's crazy.
Straight up. Third Reich shit.
Extremely
Straight up
nasty.
Third Reich shit.
Yeah, I mean, you could have pulled that speech from
Goebbels any day.
1930,
Any
1938.
day.
You know, 19. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wow.
Insane. He can't help it.
Yeah.
I literally think he can't help it.
Look at an Antifa protest. They're all deformed in some way. What are you talking about?
Brother, you don't have hair. Antifa
Deformed.
protester, all deformed. You look like a fucking thumb. Why, dude? But the fact that he's trying to convince people we need to preemptively strike.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Right,
That's
and trying to
insane.
convince people again, just the othering. I mean,
Yeah.
the No Kings protests. Like I saw them. It's a bunch of. I mean, I tried to go to one. There's kids running around. There's kids with little signs. There's families there.
Yep.
Like why are you trying to act like this is just like a crazy thing that totally brainwashed people do? Like.
Yep.
No, like the world, like you don't get to decide what is right and normal when you don't even fit in to the right and normal that you're describing.
Right.
right?
No, but the fact like he's sitting there talking about this and saying, "Oh, children are precious, families need to be protected," but they don't even want to feed children. They don't even want to do any kind of childcare. They don't want to do
Yeah, but,
anything
I
to
mean-
benefit the children.
They don't mind ripping away parents from kids. I
Yep.
mean, supposedly, I mean, was it verified that the man in Maine, his daughter was in the car when he was
Yes.
shot? Like, okay,
Yes.
family values. Like,
Yes. Yep.
yeah.
His
I mean,
think it was,
there's a
what,
thousand
4-year-old,
examples. of-
6-year-old.
Actually, yeah, I thought she was 30. She's really
Oh,
little.
it could be. Yeah, it could be.
But, or sorry, it is 3. But yeah, I mean, exactly. Family values is probably the most hypocritical thing that they
Things they
pretend
ever
to
say.
espouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, that, I mean, yeah. Again, Marco Rubio's speech was frustrating and angering, and his was just
No,
like
palatable.
disgusting and terrible. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like Stephen Miller's was.
Yeah.
There's not really much else to say on that because he didn't give specific examples of anything. He just
Nope.
went on a Nazi diatribe. So
Yep.
there's that.
And he just can't help it.
No,
Scott Bessent is going to be so boring too. I just know it is.
probably. But here we go. Stephen Miller doesn't even bother to introduce him.
Introduce Scott Bessent. Hi.
He's like, get up there, I guess.
Just-
Like,
Just walks off.
Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, United States Secretary of the Treasury, the Honorable Scott Bessent.
I'm going to use the restroom. Keep playing it.
did they just have to raise those things because Bessent's taller?
Good morning. And before I proceed, I'm going to go off script for a minute, which is always dangerous, but I'm going to remind everyone in this room and all the media that I was the subject of an assassination attempt February 2024 by an addled left-wing activist 2 hours after being sworn into my job. So any of you who want to report that this is a fiction and does not exist, be there for the sentencing this August. So good morning. Thank you, Secretary Rubio, for convening this ministerial and for the invitation to be here. We are here together because the resurgence of political terrorism, transnational in design, and far left in doctrine is no longer the concern of any one nation. It demands a response that draws upon the distinct and combined strengths of every government represented here today. Every government. Ours begins where every campaign of terror does. It's financial lifeblood. And at President Trump's direction, the United States Treasury is bringing the full weight of our authorities to defend the integrity of the U.S. global financial systems. More than 20 years ago, in the wake of 9/11, Treasury became the first finance ministry in the world to establish an office dedicated to disrupting the funding networks of terrorist organizations. Treasury's Office of Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, referred to as TFI, was created in recognition of the reality that America's financial system is essential to its national security. TFI's mandate to identify, disrupt, and disable illicit foreign funds that threaten our homeland has become one of the Treasury's defining responsibilities. And today, we are extending that abiding mission to meet an evolving threat. The resurgence of organized political terrorism has long occupied a blind spot. The international community has struggled to identify this danger, much less defeat it.
So he came in saying that he was like, there was an assassination attempt against him, like right after he was sworn in to his job. I never heard that. I'm looking it up, and all I'm finding is Fox News and Newsweek reporting on it like recently. So this was not revealed to the public, I guess. Which I feel like assassination attempts against cabinet
A sitting
members
secretary, yeah,
should
would be a huge deal.
should be news. So interesting.
Nice.
He basically came in and was like, so if you guys don't think this is a big deal or if anybody's going to report this as fiction, just so there is essentially, yeah. Anyway.
But as the threat of terrorism evolves, the institution tools that defend against it must adapt. We once understood terrorism principally as an external menace that is no longer the world we inhabit. Increasingly, we are confronting sophisticated, organized networks across borders to incite violence within them. Meanwhile, old ideological boundaries are now giving way to new operational alliances. The unified front between international Marxism and radical Islamic movements need not share the same ultimate vision to share the same immediate enemy of free and self-governing societies. That convergence should concern every government represented in this room. These terrorists understand an enduring truth. Societies are rarely subverted from afar until they have first been weakened from within. So as it tears at the social fabric that allows our societies to function, Left-wing terrorism is the visible manifestation of a much broader and more insidious effort to undermine the philosophies that built Western civilization and sustain all we hold dear. Some of these activities are overt: bombings, assassinations, and organized violence in our streets. Others are quieter: campaigns to suppress speech, intimidate political opposition, and sabotage our national institutions. Of course, whatever form they take, none of these attacks sustain themselves. Violence requires money, channels through which funding can move, and institutions behind which it can hide. Increasingly, legitimate nonprofit and charitable structures are being exploited as a mechanism to conceal the movement of illicit funds to support political terrorism. For Treasury, the application of our authorities to combat these networks represents the natural evolution of our mission. Through our Office of Foreign Assets Control,
He's so
Financial
fucking
Crimes Enforcement Network, and IRSCI, we have spent decades developing the world's most sophisticated financial counterterrorism capabilities. And now we are mobilizing some of the same tools that we have deployed against terrorists abroad to confront this emerging threat here at home. Like every form of illicit finance, these networks rely on the global financial system. It is our mandate to deny terrorist groups access to those channels. Now, we think of nonprofits and charities as good, altruistic organizations, and most of them are. We think they represent the very best of civil society. Many of them do. But the very qualities that make these institutions worthy of the public's trust can also make them appealing to those who endeavor to exploit them. At President Trump's direction, Treasury is expanding its efforts to identify organizations that abuse charitable and nonprofit structures as vehicles for illicit finance. We are examining where tax-exempt status has been exploited, where charitable entities have become financial conduits for foreign influence activity, and how those entrusted with stewardship of these organizations have instead enabled violence. Where the evidence leads, we will not hesitate to follow. And of course, we will hold these organizations, officers, directors
I'm looking that up
accountable.
now.
And just as financial institutions must know their clients, they must know their grantees. That work is well underway. In the fall, the United States designated 4 far-left Antifa extremist groups abroad as foreign terrorist organizations, denying them access to the U.S. financial system and depriving them of resources they need to carry out attacks. Meanwhile, in this administration alone, OFAC has also sanctioned 17 sham charities and nonprofit organizations for funding Hamas's terrorist activities and operations. As Treasury continues to map and disrupt the flow of funding that enables these entities to operate, no terror organization should delude itself into the belief that its financing lies beyond
That's like
our
if you watch it
reach.
from the
No
APC.
facilitator should assume that anonymity confers
I didn't
impunity,
know what you said. What?
and no jurisdiction should expect to enable
I have
or
it.
harbor these activities without consequence. To be clear, in the fight against domestic terrorism, we must respect the constitutional rights, freedom of speech, association, and
You
assembly
fucking
of
don't,
all
dumbass.
Americans. As such,
Yeah.
it is important to emphasize that Treasury will act
talk to the
based
guy that
on
was speaking
suspected
before you.
unlawful conduct by these terror organizations, not because of their beliefs or ideologies. At Treasury, this work is mission critical, but we cannot do it alone. The threat is transnational. Our response must be no less so. Indeed, our cooperation must be as disciplined as the networks we seek to dismantle. The global financial system is one of the great achievements of the modern world, and we never must allow it to become a sanctuary for those who seek to subvert it.
sounds so
on behalf of the
nervous,
United
like he's
States
about to
Treasury,
cry.
let there be no uncertainty
always
about the
sounds
work
like that,
before
like
us
he's just gonna
and the
cry.
resolve
He
with
does.
which we will undertake it. We will
Like somebody's,
identify
like,
illicit
beating
funding,
him up.
however artfully it is concealed. We will dismantle the networks that
against
sustain
his will.
political terrorism, however respectable their fronts may be. We will pursue those who enable political violence, however distant their jurisdictions, and we will deepen our collaboration with every nation represented in this room for as long as this work requires. This is our commitment, and we ask that you make yours too. Secretary Rubio, thank you again for convening us here this morning. Let us work together to translate the spirit of this ministerial into a commitment that endures well beyond it. And let us deny our adversaries the one thing on which they count most, that those of us assembled in this room will grow weary in our cooperation before they do. Thank you all for
Actually,
being here today,
don't,
and U.S. Treasury looks forward to
Don't
working with
he
you.
and Stephen
Thank you.
Miller not get along? Like, they have
Because he's
beef,
gay.
right?
Stephen Miller doesn't. It's not his perfect family picture.
Thank you, Secretary Besson. Thank you also to
Unnatural.
Homeland Security Advisor Miller and to Secretary Rubio. These are obviously very important
Homeland
topics. We're looking
Advisor
very much
Miller,
forward
not
to
Deputy
the
Chief
panels
of
today
Staff Miller?
that will involve many of your
Brother
countries.
got a
Again, I just want to
demotion?
thank those of you who have come here from a long distance, looking around
That's
the
what he
room at the names of the various countries that are represented here. Really, we're seeing countries from all over the world who have come here. We look forward to continuing to share our perspectives on these issues. We look forward to hearing your perspectives on these issues. So I'm very much looking forward to taking some of the issues that were posited by our speakers this
issues like
morning
4 times,
and
brother.
continuing these discussions with all of you in the panels that will take place throughout the day. I
Everything's
think
an
now
issue,
we
we get
have a break for a number of minutes, and then we will resume with the first panel shortly. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, well,
Bunch of
that's
issues.
the big three who spoke today
Bunch of different issues.
at this resurgence of political terrorism meeting. Yeah, so that was interesting. The momentum kind of died with Besson, but
Yeah. 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 We should have let Rubio finish last.
probably. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of thoughts on Besson's.
No. He said a bunch of
mean,
nothing.
He's gonna do what he's gonna do to
He's
support
been told.
whatever else the other two tell him to do. Whatever the administration
much.
tells him to do. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
He's a stooge.
he's saying that he's gonna respect, the Treasury or whatever's gonna respect speech and whatnot. But okay,
Yeah.
well, when the rubber meets the road, I guess we'll see.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Rubio came in, literally was like, we're going to go fuck shit up. Oh, we're going to go after them. And then Stephen Miller was like, well, yeah, we're going to fuck shit up, but we're even going to do it before you even do anything wrong. We're going to fuck shit up. And then Scott Besson was like, you heard the speeches. Treasury's right after it. Oh, listen. We have been preparing ourselves. You don't understand. We are fully marinated.
Pre-gamed with Rubio and Miller and Besson.
Yeah.
So we
are
feel
pumped.
prepped and ready to go.
It's a Thursday night. We are ready. The bar's been hit. Do I need to get my special tequila? Is this a special occasion? We're about to
I think
get
you should,
McCarthy.
yeah.
McCarthy 2.0. We're about to get McCarthy 2.0 right now.
It could be the last one you'll ever get. So
Hey,
let's look at it.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, this is gonna be if the speech is like that and he's like, yeah, we're going after him. Like if that's what is said today, it's gonna be so much worse than McCarthy. Like the technological advances that we have. No, but see, here's the thing. But see, here's where you're wrong. I enjoy Trump's speeches. I love how he talks. You misunderstand me. Oh, Stephen Miller, on the other hand, is hard. He's hard to digest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you were here for his portion, but it was very, very Nazi. Very Nazi.
Brother was straight out of Third Reich. Like you just had to put the whole dress on him, just mark down Berlin. Like it was, yeah. But Trump, he's funny. You can laugh at it. He's gonna say something funny. Like he.
I mean, it's late though. Is he gonna be able to stay up, or is this like his prime? Like he falls asleep like in the middle of the day.
He does. He's had a
he's
nap.
Like, he's
they're giving him a shot too. Like, hey, it's my speech. You better keep me up. No, but like you're gonna know like when he's on script and when he's off script. Like it's so clear,
I mean, I feel like he's gonna go rogue just most of the time for this one.
Yeah.
Like,
I bet money on that.
Like there's gonna be a script or a speech or whatever, but he's not sticking to that thing at all.
Oh, 100%. Because he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like he has to attach it. It's the only way you're able to control large swaths of conservative people because they believe that, right? They do.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say. Something about Trump. I was going to say something about Trump. Oh, yeah. So I know somebody on fucking Polymarket and Kelshi is putting in all the bets. Like Trump
Yeah, I was
is
just
gonna
thinking
say
about that.
these
They must
words.
be.
These
I'm sure
words,
they're
these
lit
speeches are coming
up
on.
right now.
He's going crazy. Somebody on Kalshi is about to make so much money today. He's gonna be like, how many times is gonna Trump mention the wars? How many wars he's starting? India, Pakistan. It's coming. It's coming. It's gonna happen. Somebody is
There's
about to
probably a
molest
bet.
money big time.
There's probably a bet that he'll like. I probably shouldn't say. I keep saying
Sleepy Joe
Donald Trump,
Biden.
but yeah.
Barack Hussein Obama.
Obama. No, that's absolutely coming up. He's gonna bring up both of them. Maybe crooked Hillary if it's a special night. I don't know.
Right. And then Iran. We've taken out all their leadership.
Yeah.
They're gonna call me. They've been calling. They want to make a
They're
deal.
winning. They won.
We're the guardians of the strait. That's what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
gonna charge a fee.
I mean, if
Yeah,
you
he's coming.
this would have been called Guardians of the Hormuz, but we went a different direction.
Is it live? Is they up yet or no? Do they pregame? Do they pregame his speeches? No, it's just
It's
him
probably-
right away, right?
I mean,
Nobody opens for him. Nobody does a cover. Nobody covers his greatest hits, right? Like it's just.
no, we can read the comments though.
Oh, I love the
I've seen
comments.
it.
Oh my god, I love the comments.
China. Trump is the best president ever. Don't make
No,
us
you
do
no.
that.
See, no, you gotta go on Fox News for this. If there's a Fox News channel, that's where you gotta go. That's where you 100% have to go.
Signal
'Cause
anything about the November
the comments
midterms,
there are
perhaps?
just
Does it
much
project
more entertaining.
confidence? Does it project
Enjoy our
anxiety
Canadian
about the
smoke.
speech happening tonight?
Well, there has to be at least a
That's
little bit of
literally the
anxiety. Now, I
first
don't think
one I
President
see.
Trump is a particularly anxious guy, but
Oh my God.
historically speaking, midterm elections don't go very well for the party in power, the party that holds the White
The
House.
left realized their
There's
ideas are
really
too
only
unpopular
been
to be
two
elected, so
exceptions
they
since
resorted to political
1938. One
violence,
was
which will
right
also
after
fail.
9/11, and the other was during the unpopular Clinton
Voter ID is a
impeachment.
must.
So,
Obama
so
was
there
the
would be
worst
reasons to be
16 years
nervous in any
ever?
midterm election. Right now,
16.
there are a lot of low poll
That just tells you the
numbers
chat
for
we're
the
in.
president's handling of the economy, his overall job approval
MAGA
rating.
follows the
There are
Antichrist.
some signs that maybe Republican voters are less enthusiastic about voting in the midterm
Arugula,
elections than
arugula,
Democratic
arugula.
voters are,
Okay.
although some of the socialists winning Democratic primaries
16
might
years
sort
of
of narrow
Obama.
that gap over time. So it would be natural for the president and for his allies on Capitol Hill to have some concern.
Can an American
about the
citizen
midterm-
vote
how
for the
midterm
president of
elections are gonna
Mexico?
go,
What?
and want to do something to get a different outcome.
If you could put
Dems
yourself in
went.
the
Oh, is that
shoes of,
Liberty? Dems went crazy
Republicans
with the
on
gay
Capitol
stuff.
Hill,
Is that
do you
Liberty in
believe
there?
It might
They
be.
would rather Trump be talking about something like the economy during an address like this?
And that's what he did talk about in his last
love these
primetime
comments.
address
It's so
before
good.
Christmas time. And
It's so
Coming in
good.
so fast.
many Republicans would have preferred if he had kept his focus on the economy in the following months.
Miss Piggy lied
weeks
again
after
today.
that
Wow.
speech, and
It's
that
talking
might have
about
helped him
Caroline.
a bit more
Ooh.
in the midterm elections. Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. Now, you could talk about the economy, what people's actual perceptions about their personal
dude.
finance circumstances are, their personal finances. That's, I think, more important than anything any politician can say about the economy.
As a
But
preacher
certainly
of
if you talk
17 years,
about
I
it
have a
enough,
duty
it
to
at least
remind
shows
Christians
that
that
it's your priority
faith comes
and
before
that you care
politics.
about it. And I
We
think
have a
Republicans
duty
would
to
like
vote all
to see that. I think some
who
Republicans
supported
are
and defended
unhappy
Trump's
that the
blasphemy.
president prioritized
our
the
Lord
Save
and
America
Savior,
Act
okay?
over
Good
the
luck.
bipartisan
Damn
housing bill, which
libtards!
he wanted
Just
to tout
randomly in there.
as a clear-cut delivery.
What
What are you
What
doing
kind
in there? Go to the
affordability agenda.
CNN.
So there's some disappointment.
Go to
there
the
on Capitol Hill.
MSNBC.
I do think a lot of
Yeah.
conservative activists.
This
and a
is
lot of the
just for
Republican base
us.
is more interested in the SAVE Act than that particular bill. But Trump could
We
have
need to
certainly
pump
changed some of those
HQ
priorities by
Trump?
talking about
What?
the bill
Disney
more.
has taken over.
He
Stay
did allow
calm,
it to
everyone.
become
The
law,
little green
but,
men will
but
be
he
here
did not hold a signing ceremony for it, didn't sign it. So,
We'll ask
you know,
God
I
if he
think
wants
is
to be a
has
trans
kind of,
Democrat.
there is some frustration among
All Democrats are just trans now.
Yeah, I guess so.
Booking done.
Some
Yeah.
hit political
This is your
influence.
brain when you're struggling
When
to focus.
someone refers to
And
Russia
this
and
is your
China
brain
enemy,
when you're in the zone.
do they think they're
Like getting
speaking
in the
for
zone.
Steve
me?
Vance, Vice President,
Yeah,
has
that one kind of
a lot riding
when
on
someone
midterm
speaks,
elections
when someone
himself.
refers
That's
to
not
Russia and
gay
China
books in kids'
Going to be a
schools.
candidate for
as
president
enemies,
in
they think my history is
2028,
God
succeeding
happy
President
history
Trump.
is prevalent
He
in
is
Russia and
the
China as the
finance chairman
preferred.
for the Republican
What
National
the
Committee
fuck
in
is
this
this?
election cycle, so he's going to be doing a lot.
Wash your brain.
Politics
He is
wash your
going for
brains.
Republican
Don't
candidates
believe.
who are going to be on the
Don't
ballot
fall
this
for them.
fall. I think Vance would
You
like
Americans
the
don't
Trump
know what you
administration to
have.
be
You
seen as an administration
ungrateful
that,
bastards.
is interested in the economy. is
Yo,
interested
my
in
bad, bro.
affordability, is
Where are you
interested in,
from?
keeping its campaign
Obama
promises
married
from 2024.
Let's see. Oh, we
And
got some
so
chats.
he's going to try to keep
Howdy.
the administration
we already
focused on those
went to
things,
that.
but he's
Y'all
also
should make
going
some
to
bingo cards real
remain
quick.
very
The
publicly
free space
supportive
can
of whatever
be
it is that
Obama or
President
Biden.
Trump wants to do.
I know,
and
right?
thinks
We should have thought of that.
We should have thought of that.
Jim, and I appreciate the generosity with your time tonight.
Investigations will
what do you
identify
think
administrative and
speech looked like
procedural
from
problems
Trump
in
tonight?
Fulton County, including issues
Well, I
with
think a
ballot
speech that
reconciliation
rallies
paperwork and
Republicans,
aspects of
you know,
2020
it's inevitable
recount.
that it's going to get
Wasn't
some
there like
kind of
30
Democratic
million
criticism,
court
so I
cases that
don't know
found nothing
there's
wrong?
Anything that you
Yeah.
could do about that, but
I
would
think only
he
like
be able to avoid
16 or something
amplifying the
cases
Democratic
have
message
ever
that
been
the
found
president
of
is
an
being a sore
undocumented
loser
person
from
voting
2020
in any
rather than
election, like
focusing
ever.
on
So
the
JD's
2026
done. He will be
elections.
selling crypto door to door down the
So
Mississippi
I
in
think success would be
2028.
a
What?
unified Republican
Where's
support
Mitch?
for the
Trump
speech
was
and its
Terminator
contents,
all
and
along.
not
John
really
Connor was
reinforcing
actually the
preemptive Democratic
robot.
attacks on it.
Okay.
You know, and maybe even
Okay.
if he can make those attacks look a little bit
Save
silly,
America
or at
Act
least
must
look a
be
little bit
passed, or we will
presumptuous,
not have a
that would be a
great
pretty good
country
night for the
any
president. It's still going to
longer.
be a very long way.
Oh,
to
Ask him
that.
what the Save
All it
America
has.
Act is. He has no
Jim,
idea.
We appreciate the time tonight. Jim Antle is the executive
Somebody
editor
said
of
Trump is
Washington
coming out
Examiner
as
magazine.
trans.
Take care.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
See what I mean?
So we're going
The
to
Fox News
stick
just
with you
hits
here.
different
We've
than
got
Andy.
about,
Come on. You are
7 or
fucking,
8
what were you
minutes
on?
Oh,
AP?
you could put
President's feed from
Yeah,
the
I was
Come
on a serious
we're not
news
going to
network.
step
My
away
bad.
Come on.
any breaks.
Come on,
you were on AP.
We're
You
just
were
gonna
missing
stick here
this.
for now. And let's go
I'm only
through
one of those
producing
court
team
cases,
if
and it
we
was just
can.
allowed
Let's go
people
through
to
some of
watch
the
say not
tweets
to overturn.
that are starting
Yeah.
to give us a little bit of context about what we might hear tonight.
America first.
Starting
Way to
off,
go,
the White House has
President
been
Donald
sending
J.
out
Trump.
these, promotional posters ever since we knew that they
Tough.
would
Hey,
be
listen, man. That's a
holding
tough
this,
photo.
primetime
That's a
address tonight.
tough
If you guys
photo.
are just tuning in,
Tonight.
we expect the
That's
remarks
aura.
to begin within the next
Biden
6
could
or
never do
7
that.
minutes. We have the
Biden could not do
feed,
that. Are you
transmitting
going to read his book, by the
from
way?
the White House press pool. right
Promise
now.
me, America.
Just to give you an idea.
Now
of
listen
how
here,
these
Jack.
things typically work on
Promise
our
me.
end. Usually we
Yeah,
get
that's
the
his book.
feed
He's
from
writing
the
a
White
book
House, and it's
of
usually
his
pretty
presidency
quick.
days.
We'll get the feed
Oh,
right
no,
away, and then the
maybe.
president starts
It's
talking,
literally called
right?
Promise
As
Me,
soon as
America.
The feed gets plugged in to our station. We
Here's
expect
it.
that
Or
that'll
something like
happen
that.
right at the
Maybe
top
I'm
of the
getting it
hour.
wrong, but I'm pretty sure
After
it's
all,
something
they
like
wanted
that.
to do this right at the top of the 9 p.m. Eastern time hour. So that
Somebody
this
said
would be a
White House ghetto
primetime
yard
address.
party.
Senator Bernie Moreno. He
King Trump off
represents
with their
Ohio.
heads, but
He
there
says,
is it's the
I
wrong
was
there.
just briefed by the White House on what
You
to
were
expect
expecting the
this
right one?
evening. I would encourage
right, my
every
bad.
American to tune in tonight to the president's speech. This may be
Trump
the most
has a
important Oval
smegma
Office address
infection.
since the Cuban Missile Crisis, he says. The time for complacency with China is over. So he sent that
That's
out
That's
just
with the
over
women
an
of
hour
America,
ago.
unless you
I
want the
believe we
benefit.
also heard from
Okay.
Eric Schmidt.
All
as
just
well
one
from
word.
Missouri.
It's
And
all one
some of the
word. No
facts that
I
were
don't
spaces.
know.
revealed in
Understand that
President
one.
Trump's speech tonight are truly shocking.
Let's go. Aliens are
If the
going to be
networks
announced
were
tonight,
truly
boys.
serving the public interest, they would
Okay.
air it, and as a country, we would
Love from Tel
collectively
Aviv and
resolve
Folk
to
Valley.
take action.
Yup.
So clearly, some of these senators
Trump
have been
is King
briefed
Diddy.
on the contents of the speech tonight.
You can
We
put me
here
out on the street.
are going to hear it from the president
I love
himself.
it, bro. I love this.
And
He's actually
moments
dropping a rap album with those
Representative Miller
photos.
saying, "Be sure
Yo,
to tune into the
imagine-
president's
imagine
remarks
that's how they
tonight
get to the
at
youth
8 Central,
with a
9
rap
p.m.
album.
Eastern time. The legacy
That's
fake
what all
news
this
media
is
doesn't
about.
want you to
Was
see
like an
this.
Well, okay. So
And if you're curious
clavicular,
what
which
these
you're familiar
lawmakers
with
are
now, now
alluding to.
isn't Tel Aviv, by the way.
Terrestrial
apparently,
TV news networks.
have you seen this?
Networks that broadcast
I
over
saw
the
that
air.
he supposedly
They're
got
choosing,
honeypotted.
instead of airing
Yes,
it over the
but
terrestrial
apparently
airwaves, they're gonna air this
BB's
speech,
advisors
via
reached out to
streaming
him
platforms.
saying that they
And
want
so
to get
that's
a
what some of those lawmakers are reacting
advice
to.
from him how to
Chuck
look
Schumer,
next
the
BB
Senate Minority Leader,
and get him in the
saying
gym
tonight,
because he's
a
really
weak
into
and
health.
flailing Donald Trump will give
Okay.
a
because he
speech
wants
full
to
of
reach out to the
grievances
youth.
and blatant
So we're gonna
lies.
have a brand new
He is laying
BB.
the groundwork
BB's
for
gonna
the
pull a
Jeff Bezos.
2026 midterm elections.
So they're gonna try
I
to
will
do
lead
like
Senate
the
Democrats in ensuring
Hassan
that he is
Abdul
defeated.
Al Sayed like
at
in the
every
gym
turn.
videos, but with
Chuck Schumer
Clavicular
I believe he
and
And
posted
Bibi
a
Netanyahu,
statement
yes.
there.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Attached with his
You're
videos.
gonna
Okay.
see Bibi
Taking
Netanyahu
live
bench
looks
press.
I
Capitol
do
Hill,
want to
as
see
we
it.
expect the president's remarks
But to
now will
laugh
begin
at
in
it.
about 4 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm
and then
keeping a
BB's gonna get a
eye on
makeover
our
from Clavicular
incoming
and
feeds here to make sure that
do
we
the
take
looks
the president's
maxing.
remarks as
Maybe
soon
start
as they
injecting
begin.
himself with
Senator
steroids and
Adam
other
Schiff
I was
drugs.
gonna
of
say,
California
doesn't
saying this.
Clavicular
As
take
you watch the
like
president's address
recreational
tonight,
meth to like
the
Yes.
stay
Democrat says,
skinny?
keep this in
Yes.
mind.
Is
Trump was the guy
gonna do
badgering
that?
the Republican
Yes.
Secretary of State,
Okay.
Brad
BB's
Raffensperger,
BB's
to
down
find
for it.
11,760
Already
whatever it
nuts.
takes.
in the
What
2020
can
election
help?
that did not exist.
Exactly.
And that
But
is
would have
going
been just
to
enough to
redeem
defeat
him in
Biden
the
in that
ICU
state.
for genocide.
He was lying then, and
Apparently.
he
That's
will
exactly
be
right.
lying now.
That's
Will
exactly right.
continue to contest the last election he lost
How many
and to
viewers
set
right
the
now?
stage to contest the midterm
see.
elections to come.
Does
A
it show
live
on your
look
end?
at the White House as we've been going through reactions from both Democrats and Republicans. And this is from the New York
2.8
Post. Caitlin is with the New York Post.
Oh
She
no,
says
almost
President
40,000
Trump
watching.
is expected to reveal at least
Oh,
Right there, right
that's-
underneath.
that's
Okay.
278,000 non-citizens are registered to vote in U.S. federal elections during his primetime speech
Crazy, bro.
tonight
I would love a
on
Trump.
election
No,
security.
Trump
So
just
that's
needs to. He's so
Senator Bernie
funny
Moreno
though. Like,
saying that
not a rap album. He needs to do a
China
comedy show.
will have something to
He's
do with
so
the president's
funny.
remarks tonight. And
I
then
mean,
that's
that's
the New
what
York
he
Post
should have done with
saying
his life in the first place,
278,000
but
non-citizens are registered to
Put him
vote
in
Shocking
in
number was
federal
compiled
elections. And that
by
will also be
Department
a
of Homeland
piece
Security,
of what the president
included
talks
in a
about tonight.
forthcoming report by the
Caitlin with
agency,
Post
per my
also
source,
says
who
the
noted
shocking
it's
number
just
com-
one piece of
the
what Trump
shocking
is
number
expected
was
to unveil
compiled by the
during his
Department
prime
of
time.
Homeland Security.
I don't think Trump is
and
going
is
to unveil
inclu-
anything,
and
but
is
you
including
know,
in a forthcoming
Nothing
report
that
I
has
hope
any
so.
evidence.
per my source.
yeah,
He
right.
noted it's just one piece of what Trump is expected
Only
to
citizens should
unveil
vote.
during his primetime speech tonight.
Does anybody else?
I'm
I
Austin Westfall. What
I
we're doing
wasn't
is
sure.
We're waiting for any moment now.
That's
The
already the
president's
law,
speech will
y'all.
begin.
give me like
Just
where we're
as another
from,
primer for
like
some
what
of
our
you that are
ethnicities
tuning in
are,
right now.
or
The way this works
I don't know what
is we behind the
aren't you
scenes are going
French?
to look for the exact
Yeah.
second that the White House
Art
plugs
French,
their
right?
feet
We
into
talked
our
about this, didn't
newsroom.
we?
As soon as they do
I'm
that,
from
I-
India.
French,
I was born
Italian,
there.
it's lead time to
Italian,
when the president
Irish,
starts
just
talking. So we're going to be watching like a hawk
In
to
the
make
mix.
sure that we get this feed up
Yeah.
on air as soon as the president
What's
starts
that?
talking.
What's that
So
soup
we'll
called
get
where
the
it's like all
president's
mixed up?
remarks right at the top of the hour, right on time.
Isn't
So
there a word
in
for
a
it?
minute or two, we expect
Oh, like a
the
goulash?
president to
Like-
begin speaking from
Is
the
that what
White
it is?
House.
I don't know. I've never. I don't know.
Well, goulash
My
is like a
understanding
pasta
is, at
with
least
like
from the-
peppers
pasta.
and
It's
meat,
like a
and
soup
like
mixed
it's
with
like
everything thrown in.
spicy.
Like a leftover soup
This will
kind of
not
type.
be a
Yeah,
speech from
I guess
the
I don't know if
Oval
it has, like, a
Office. This will
proper
not be
name,
at the
but-
Resolute desk. He's going to be talking from the
Oh yeah,
East
no.
Room in just
I've been in the U.S. for a
minutes
long
time, the
time
White
now,
House
but I was
saying
born in India,
he'll be addressing the nation with
Punjab,
breaking news.
and now
Don't miss it.
I'm here.
This is a setup. This speech is really
Gay
in-
flag, trans flag, and then just to
and
top it
even-
right off,
in the standard
Hak
of this
Thua.
political era.
you start with Hak Thua,
Signaling
and
that
then
the
you
president
end
will
with
focus
the
on what he
Israeli
calls
flag.
election integrity.
Yeah.
Right, I like
There's
it.
reporting out there pointing specifically
That's awesome.
to a number of
Trump's gonna
facets
start
of the
LARPing?
nation's election systems. We will wait for just seconds from now to hear the president's remarks in full. We also have not
I'm pretty
been
open
tipped
with whatever
off
you want to ask me,
as
though.
to
You know, so
what,
just ask me whatever you
or
want to ask
how
me.
long exactly we expect these remarks to be. That's something we will find out with you.
Let me
as
roll up
is
for this
the
one.
Procedure
Okay.
here with Live Now.
Nice.
We will not be taking any breaks during the speech. Doesn't matter if
All
this
right.
thing goes on for a long time.
No
If
breaks.
surpasses
we're,
an hour,
we're here for a
going to be with
marathon
it for the
apparently.
entirety of the remarks. No commercial
here till
breaks.
midnight.
We're going to be airing it
No
completely
breaks.
uninterrupted. President Trump has been focusing on the Save
Don't worry,
America
guys,
Act
no
as
breaks.
of late, and he has
It's
long
9.
argued
It's 9 p.m.
that America's election system
Where we at?
needs major changes.
He always does this. He's such
He
a
has
diva.
called for
Always
stricter
late.
voter ID,
Always. He always
proof
has
of
to be.
citizenship requirements, limits on mail-in mail-in voting, and a much more aggressive federal role in how elections are run.
Turn Israel
You're
loose
looking
on
at
Iran.
a live vantage
Okay.
point of the White House now, where we
Nice.
expect the president's remarks
You want
to
the expensive
begin
gas, I guess.
at any moment. President Trump
Where are
and
the
his
mass
supporters
deportations
Higher paid
from?
say that
bills.
these changes are common sense. They argue that Americans should have confidence that only eligible citizens are
The
voting,
president is speaking.
and that voters
Sounds like the
who
same old crap he
are
says.
who they say they are, and that machines
Okay.
and ballots are secure. For those that are tuning in at the top of the hour, I'm Austin Westfall. We are awaiting the president to give remarks live from the White House.
Buy
Remarks have
high
not
bar
begun
now
quite
before
yet.
it's too late.
We have
got
the
stock
White
advices.
House press pool feed,
I
so
guess.
we
Let
have
people
the
know.
camera.
Snowflakes,
that we
find your
know
safe
that the
space.
remarks will eventually begin
That's your
on.
safe space.
What we haven't quite got yet is the affirmative that the
No,
remarks
don't
are going
touch
to be
me there.
beginning,
This is my
and that
no-no
we can start
square.
taking those remarks live and uninterrupted. So it's possible at this point now that we might be looking at
Rich people
a
first.
slight delay. Usually
7 million
these things do
illegals.
run on time. And I just saw.
Oh, here we go.
There he is.
So his feed just popped up. Let's listen live.
Before we begin, I'm proud to report that our country is safer, stronger, and far wealthier
I'm so
than it
excited.
has ever been before. We are
Yeah, he's
doing
got his
I've never
drugs.
been this
He looks
happy.
good.
less than 2 years
This is the
ago.
greatest
We
day of my life.
avoided an economic
Trump
and
gets to be
social
today.
disaster after the worst inflation in 48 years, the wide open borders with millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world,
See, he looks
including
awake.
criminals of all types, and
He does.
11,888 murders, many of whom killed more than
Stephen
one
Willard was
person.
up making sure he was
We
asleep.
had transgender for
Yeah, right.
everybody,
Singing him
men
a
and
bedtime
women's
story.
sports, crime ravaging our cities, and the whole world was laughing at us as a nation, but not anymore. 2
Not
years ago,
anymore.
our country was dead. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world.
I knew somebody bet money on that
America
word
is
right there. The
respected
hottest
like
country
we have
ever.
never been
was a
respected
Kelsey bet.
before.
100%.
We have
Absolutely.
more money being invested in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. More Americans are working today than ever before. This week, it was announced that inflation saw the largest monthly decline in more than 6 years. Just happened. It was just given out. The media reported it, and we accept it. The best in 6 years. The
It's
tax
a
cuts in
reward.
our great, big, beautiful bill are saving hardworking families thousands and thousands of dollars, like with the provisions, no tax on tips, no tax on
tips.
overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, along with the interest deduction on
It's
a
the
loan
same
used to
speech
purchase a car,
every time.
but only if that car is made in America, and a 100% expensing for our job creating businesses. Our stock markets are at their highest point in many years, but we can actually say of all time. And your 401ks, pensions, and retirement accounts are setting records
Somebody's
every
actually
single
subbing to Fox
day, the
News.
highest in history. For years, we paid
keep
the
your money.
highest
You don't need
price
to.
I
for
know.
prescription
I wonder what
drugs
they do
anywhere in the
then.
world. Now we pay the lowest price under my most favored nation's policy because I was able to
coffee
get the
for
rest
one
of
person?
the world and the pharmaceutical companies to act responsibly. Drug prices are coming down by 70, 80, and 90%.
Are they?
TrumpRx.gov. This will ultimately reduce the cost of healthcare. You have to go to TrumpRx.gov and take advantage of it. But the cost of healthcare is coming way down because
$200?
of what we've done with
I think people just want to
prescription
see
drugs.
their comment
and with Trump
attention.
accounts. Every child
He's
in America
saying
now
it to
has
dear
access
Trump.
to
This
a
is Fox
tax-free
News.
investment account.
Trump doesn't see
to
this.
save for the
Dumbass.
future. Billions and
Bro,
billions of dollars are being invested,
This
put in
is delusional,
by
I guess.
companies and individuals to take care of our children so that at age 18, they will have potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in their account and they'll get off to a great start in life. So for that, go to
Potentially, it's doing a lot of
TrumpAccounts.gov
heavy
and sign up
lifting.
your child or any child who'd like to sign up. Our previously wide open borders have been transformed into the most secure borders in the history of our country, with 0 illegal aliens being admitted to the United States in the past 14 months. That is 0. Nobody thought it was possible.
0.
We had the worst border in the history of our country, and now we have the best. Crime is plummeting nationwide with the murder rate at its lowest level since 1900, or more than 125 years ago. We're making a record investment in our armed forces, and we have the strongest and most powerful military by far
Oh yeah,
anywhere
we
in
have
the
the thing
world.
where like you can't
I
post
built
things.
it
Sorry,
during
buddy.
my first term, and unfortunately, we're forced to use it now. We won in Venezuela, which is now working with us to produce millions and millions of barrels of oil. We are
Millions and
likewise winning
millions.
big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly. America is back and doing really well, but we still have a major challenge that must be urgently addressed, because no country could be great without fair and honest elections. You have to trust your country, because if there can be no trust, there can be no greatness. And that's very simple. No trust, no greatness. For many years, I've called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure, one where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible. Unfortunately, the system we have today falls catastrophically short of that standard. Tonight,
swear to
I'm
God, if he talks
announcing
about
the
mail voting.
immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure.
You think
This
there's going to be
evidence
ice agents
shows
on
that the
polling
election
booths?
system
for the
we have
midterms?
dangerously exposes and really exposes like levels never thought possible
Right.
to hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you, the American people, our beautiful, our great American people. But that all changes right now. The documents we will release starting tonight have been gathered by the White House Government Transparency Task Force, a great group of people, along with the staff of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, supported by our top intelligence agency chiefs, who have all personally reviewed the findings. We are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. You can see these documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov.
Right?
Go check it out. Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to
We have not lost the core
Thought we weren't
values
supposed to
of
get
what
ads.
started this business.
Well,
A lot of
YouTube
the
never made that
major
promise.
areas of concern.
Foxy's did.
First, they show that over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is
Oh,
believed
real quick. Too many people went to whitehouse.gov, I guess.
that information includes names, addresses, phone numbers,
Just funny.
party preferences, and other
Temporarily
sensitive data
down.
that would
But
be
not out.
registered to
But
vote
not out.
But
and
not
engage
out.
in other
They were preparing for it
nefarious
to go down
activities,
tonight.
which is
I guess.
exactly what was happening. This data loss presents an unprecedented election security nightmare. The intelligence even shows that China has signed a data exploitation unit specifically to this new project. Compounding the travesty, the second set of documents
Oh, I
we
can't
are
wait to hear a
releasing
fucking
reveals that members of the deep
news
state,
presser from China
very,
tomorrow. That's
very
coming.
famous group of people, many cases, in our intelligence agency work to actively
I thought she
suppress
was your friend,
and
brother.
downplay
she
information
liked
about
you.
the extent of China's
Right.
sinister election meddling,
They're with their friends, I guess.
covering it up from both the president and the American people like nobody thought was possible. U.S. spy agencies began learning about the compromise of voter registration files in 2020 when they discovered that tens of millions of voter data, think of that, tens of millions of voters' data in 18 states have been bought, stolen, or hacked by China. Yet those responsible for sounding the alarm instead kept the information secret and hidden. They did not disclose to me as president or to anyone else, and to the best of our knowledge, they did not inform Congress. In fact, all they kept saying is, this is the most secure election in the history of our country. A standard, very pat line that was divvied out to say. The cover-up of this colossal security breach is even more disturbing in light of the additional information showing that China engaged in other election-related activities to undermine my first administration and our 2020 campaign. They did not want, and they just didn't want it. They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win, and for good reason. As the documents we are releasing show, CIA reporting explicitly stated, and I quote, in mid-2018, the Chinese Communist Party's policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his re-election. Isn't that nice? Also, in mid-2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections and later the results of the 2020 presidential election itself. Separately, in mid-2019, the Chinese government's strategy against the United States was focused on undermining domestic confidence in the U.S. president. They wanted to just make you sound like your president wasn't so hot, when actually your president has done a great job, and they did everything possible to do exactly that.
He loves being liked.
Going on,
he loves
this
it.
document says, and this is
He
by
wants
the
it
CIA,
so
And
bad.
that's why people
the
thought you were
strategy
so hot.
included efforts to use Chinese contacts with big U.S. companies to influence
Right.
U.S. business
Yeah, I guess they
leaders to
gave up
turn
pretty
against the
easy.
president of the United States of
Didn't
America.
work. Give it
The
up.
Chinese government sought to identify U.S. journalists who had reported negatively on the U.S. president and pay them large sums of money to write more negative articles about him, as many as they could, and they didn't care what they said.
Fox News
The
Nate. Not
Chinese
us, Mr.
government wanted
President.
US
We always
president
had
to
your
lose the
back.
next
Did that to
election,
you.
and the reason they wanted
I know
me to
Jesse Waters
lose
like,
is because
not
they
me
knew I was
though.
wise to them.
I was there
Charged
with
them
you.
billions and billions of dollars worth of tariffs and built the strongest military anywhere in the world. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world.
Is that why you're losing in Iran?
These are exact quotes from the CIA reporting. The name of the person
Right.
doing the
Right.
quote is now under review.
How's it supposed to do that?
But it gets even worse. Raw intelligence obtained by the FBI in 2020,
Okay, good
yet
point.
buried by rogue bureaucrats, stated that China's activities even included an attempt to manufacture illegal ballots for Joe
I mean,
Biden.
did you ever think he was going to have a
Documents
solution?
show
Joe
that
Biden,
during
there
this
it
period,
is.
dozens of significant
Oh, you already said it?
CIA and NSA reports
he didn't
about
say
China's
sweetie, though.
election targeting were kept out of the presidential briefing. These were briefings I would get almost every day. Everything was kept out. That
You don't
was
read
of
them.
importance.
Everybody says you
One
don't
email
read
among
them. They drop
intelligence
pictures for
analysts
you.
admitted that they had, quote, deliberately
Oh, man.
massaged the presidential daily briefing to withhold information regarding Chinese activities related to the election. Another official inside the FBI wrote that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from
Really?
the honorable press. Other officials who witnessed such efforts perceived the motivations to be
Who is this
blatantly
person?
political.
Is she in jail?
Recently, we found
Has there been a court
significant
case?
numbers of burn bags in
I
formation,
thought,
and
I
this
thought he
is
was
a
talking
group of
about she,
bands
like
that
president.
were
Like,
used to
No, I think he
destroy
meant like a she.
information
oh, like a
given
mysterious
by
woman?
President
Like at the
Barack
FBI
Hussein
running a
Obama
shadow government.
to be burned. It was supposed to be burned. These bags were supposed to be at a different level by different
Is this
people,
why Tulsi Gabbard
incinerated
was
and
at
checked, but it never
Fulton
happened.
County,
Maybe we got lucky.
Georgia that one
We
day?
believe this was not done on purpose, but rather through gross
Maybe.
incompetence of the people that was supposed to burn the bags. But the findings are stunning. Today, I'm asking the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the CIA to investigate how and why such crucial information was hidden, to fire those involved in the cover-up, and to file criminal charges, if appropriate, against these people.
So we have no criminal
Yet
charges.
concealing China's
at this
meddling
time.
was only the beginning. The third set of documents we are releasing proves that for many years,
You
Americans
can save
were
the press
blatantly
conference
lied
or
to
conference
about the
until you have
security of
enough evidence to
our
charge.
election
Right.
infrastructure,
Like, you
including
didn't
It's like
electronic
they're literally
voting
like we're
machines
releasing
and
proof,
ballot
100%.
counting systems.
Well, we're not going to charge
dishonest,
anybody.
Almost all.
We're still looking for the
They're
proof.
vulnerable and they're easily compromised, and
They can't
people
even do
within our
McCarthyism
government knew
right,
that.
bro.
Tonight, we're publishing
Which
a
I should be
series of
grateful for.
previously
They're just too
classified
excited.
U.S.
They keep
intelligence
jumping the
community
gun.
assessments and other reports proving that our government has long known these machines are
I should be happy they're so
extremely
fucking
exposed to
like
attack.
stupid.
As one assessment states, we judge that the United States adversaries, including at a minimum Russia, China, Iran,
Right.
North Korea, as well as non-state
100%.
groups, have the capability to compromise U.S. election infrastructure. That's unquote, but that's some statement, isn't it? Made by supposedly great patriots of our country. The
I mean, you
document
think
goes
these
on to
documents
further
would be
state
like
that,
the first
quote,
thing
we
you see on the
assess
website?
that centralized election-related data
They should be released to the media,
repositories,
like
such
so
as
they're
voter
everywhere. They're
registration
on the website.
databases,
At
poll
least give it
books,
to
and
Fox
I'm not
other
even seeing them
official
on the
election
website.
websites are
Oh,
most
okay.
vulnerable to
It's back up.
exploitation, and adversaries could
Yeah.
use this access to these systems to
Hey,
disrupt
they were online.
election processes within the United
They were
States
down,
of
but
America.
not out. They're back
Tonight,
up again.
we're releasing
Maybe
all
they
of
had to
those
take them
findings
off.
and spanning from January
Yeah.
2020 to June 2026. This is a cyber threat aimed at the very heart of our democracy. Many people have questioned whether it could actually be possible to electronically manipulate vote totals or change election results on these terrible machines. Today, we are releasing documents that show the CIA obtained reporting of a specific plot to do a big number in favor of the corrupt Maduro
Do a
regime
big number.
in Venezuela. And that's exactly what happened, conspiring to digitally rig their own country's elections in 2020. And that's what they did. This reporting included precise details about methods to regime develop to digitally alter vote
All right, I
totals
got- I
in
found the
ways that
documents.
could not
You found them?
be detected
How many are
even
there? A
with
lot?
an audit, no matter how deep they went. This intelligence underscores why we must take urgent
Super
action
Trump.
to ensure that our own system can never, ever be hacked or
I
compromised
feel nervous
like
that I
it
just
was in
downloaded
the
something
past.
from.
The fourth
Oh,
set
White
of
House.
documents
Onto my
reveals that even
computer.
when significant evidence of fraud has been detected, it has been buried and covered up. Among the disclosures tonight are FBI files detailing evidence of alleged fraud by a large-scale voter registration operation in Michigan.
Oh my god.
In 2020, Michigan
They're
State Police
heavily
raided a
redacted.
Democrat Get Out the Vote
Heavily.
organization, corrupt group in Muskegon. And we're so concerned.
trying to hear
by
what he's gonna
they
do,
found.
like,
They
if
were
he's gonna,
just
like,
so concerned. They couldn't believe it,
Do some
actually.
fuck shit. That's what
that
I'm
they
really listening for.
contacted the FBI
Or if it's
in
just gonna be one of
Detroit.
his like triads, you
The
know. they
documents
just-
state that some canvassers
come in, just
admitted
berate
to
my
FBI
ears the
agents
entire
that they
time.
signed voter registration forms in other people's
It
names,
sounds like the latter.
submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to their number of applications that they produced. In other words, it was pay, play, and cheat. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the
I love
Biden
it so
Department of
much.
Justice slow walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated
Cash.
and to work
Where
with
are
the
you,
Department of
Cash?
Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes. Finally, to reveal just how vulnerable our elections continue to be, we are releasing the results of a stunning investigation by the Department of Homeland Security. According to the DHS review, state voter rolls and public records, They identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files, the real number is actually much higher than that. Yet, even this limited analysis found more than 250,000 foreigners
reading off the script now.
illegally registered to vote. Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it. It is not defensible. Hundreds of millions of U.S. voter files are in the hands of foreign governments. Our machines and ballot
this is
counting
Steve Miller
systems
coming
are
out.
exposed to hacking and manipulation and corruption. China and other countries have been trying to meddle in our elections. Evidence of fraud has been buried. Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens and dead people are listed and active on the voter rolls.
Those
And
are going to
yet
be
we
fun
still
to
have
go through
elections
tomorrow.
with no voter ID, no proof of citizenship, and tens of millions of ballots floating aimlessly through the mail. As one example of the insanity, California's recent election for mayor of LA and governor was held on June 2nd, a long time ago, but it was just
Spencer Pratt.
completed a few days
Should've
ago,
won.
on July 10th. Think
Should
of
be
that,
mayor.
much more than 1 month. Took a month to count the votes. I wonder what they were doing. This is worse than any third world country. There's no third world country that has elections like we have. In a rare move, NBC and ABC Fake News have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and they don't want to reveal it. They and others in the media are part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason. They want to keep it going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a great country, and that's true. You can't have a great country without free and fair elections. Fraud like this should mean a revocation of their licenses. They use our public multi-billion-dollar in value airways for absolutely no money. They pay nothing. All we want is honesty in our elections and honesty in reporting. They pay nothing for
He's so funny.
multi-billion-dollar assets. Great damage has been done to our country. Our elections were left vulnerable to being rigged and stolen, and the trust of the American people was lost. This cannot be allowed to continue. Every American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or otherwise, should be able to agree that we deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world. Secure elections should be a partisan, really, we should be together.
Here comes the Save the Act
Democrats,
speech.
Republicans, Independents, everybody. And it should not be a partisan issue. It should cause to unite us, not to divide us. This should be a cause. We should be united, not divided. In light of the brand new and irrefutable information I have revealed tonight, my administration is in the process of notifying the states whose election data was compromised by the People's Republic of China and many others. We will be working closely to mitigate any harm, and we're taking swift action to ensure that sensitive voter data is better protected so we can never be bought,
I want to see how Twitter
can
is
never
reacting
be
to
hacked.
this right now.
and we can never watch a stolen election again. Tomorrow, the Secretary of Homeland Security will hold a briefing to outline his department's recent work confirming cyber vulnerabilities in our electronic voting systems. They are bad. We're in the process of informing governors, senators, and members of Congress of potential.
Oh, you pulled it up?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat? The only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad and your candidates are so pathetic that you can't get away or can't get elected any other way. This landmark bill requires that all voters must
Yeah, there it is. Save the act.
voter ID. How simple is that?
Can you hear it
Could I
now?
have your
It's probably
photo,
because I was on
please?
a different tab.
Photo,
Yeah,
voter
yeah.
ID.
It's back. It's back.
All voters must provide proof of
All right. Obviously, I hear it
citizenship.
either way, so I
Are
wasn't
you
really
a
thinking
citizen of
about
our
that.
country, please? And hopefully there will be no corrupt mail-in ballots, which if you watched California
Yeah, it's
and
not just
so
you,
many other
Ned.
places,
There's other people here
mail-in
too.
ballots
My
are
bad.
inherently corrupt.
Sometimes I forget.
So you would have no mail-in ballots except for
You
illness,
use mail-in ballots.
disability, military deployment,
You've
or
always used mail-in
travel if you're
ballots.
going away on business or vacation. These reforms are urgently needed to stop the vulnerabilities that I've mentioned.
Access the 3 major U.S. prediction markets on one platform at Interactive Brokers. Trade the best available prediction market price.
AI agents. Well, hey, don't be scared. Here's how Monday.com makes agents clear, easy, and usable.
America, act without delay. Together we will restore faith and confidence in our country, and we will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our great military.
That was it.
And God
Shorty.
bless America. Thank you very much.
So nothing.
And you're listening in there to President
So
Donald
nothing.
Trump giving his
So it was
prime
nothing.
time address to the nation. He is releasing, his administration releasing declassified
Thank you, Mr. President.
documents related to election security. A
Come
couple
on.
of main points here. He is alleging that China interfered in the election by collecting American data, alleging members of the deep state are suppressing information on China's alleged election meddling, and saying that the Department of Homeland Security says there are 278,000
There was cheating.
non-citizens in American
was.
voter rolls.
My
Of
president
course, the
said
president
so.
touched on several other topics there, starting out his speech talking about the economy off the very top, touting administration wins, also crime rates being down, wins at the southern border. He also is
Right, like
saying
half
that
of
this
that
speech
was,
in,
like, totally
in regards
irrelevant to
to
the point.
election security is not
It was
to
already
weaken
happening. That was
confidence
already
in
the trend
election,
down.
but to
Crime rates were
confront
already going
vulnerabilities
down.
in the system.
Yep.
You also heard the president there call on Congress to pass the Save America Act at the end of his speech.
The Republicans are
That
against
speech there by the
people
president in
voting
Washington,
illegally because they
D.C.,
know
coming
illegal
to about
votes mostly favor
27
Democrats. They
minutes
just
this
wish they
evening,
could
of course,
get the
on prime time.
illegal
You're
votes.
watching live
Sore
now from
loser.
Fox. We thank you so much for staying with us
You want to
tonight,
take this one?
joining us as we aired the president's
Oh,
primetime
sorry.
address
I'm
live
trying to show
and uninterrupted. My name's Alexandra Goldberg. We have
documents.
political analyst Brian Sobel
The
standing
Republicans are
by
against
for
people voting
analysis.
illegal,
We'll talk to him
illegally
after
because
this
they
2-minute
know
break.
illegal voters mostly favor Democrats. They just wish they could. There's no evidence of illegal voting, bro. Like, how many times does that need to be proven? There's only been like 16 proven cases ever. Like, I mean, it's certainly not swaying any elections. Exactly. It's already illegal. The SAVE Act is not going to add anything. It's just going to disenfranchise people who don't have documents.
27-minute speech. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. It's all good in the hood. Yeah.
I just
Anyways,
want to
that was,
show real quick. This is
yes.
the first document.
Well, let's see. Sensitive government agency. Analysis on U.S. voter registration information from 18 states plans to conduct a U.S. person matching public opinion analysis. That was it? That was the first page? That's all we could fucking read?
Yep. So redacted.
Oh, it's not going to take you that long to go through the documents, I think.
No.
I don't think it's going to take that long.
Now that I'm, yeah. I mean, this one is heavily redacted.
Everything is redacted on that page.
Like what is this? Okay, so this is what was given. I wonder what the
Some
redacted
data-
stuff that China supposedly got what was.
Some
like,
data included detailed historical records of detailed voter ballot and polling records and election donation expenses, as well as something, demographic information, something, voter registration data from 18 states, something, Alaska, Connecticut, Florida, Maryland, New York, and Washington, D.C. The North Carolina data is the North Carolina data contained information for over 8 million voters. Kansas data contained the following types of PII: first name, middle name, last name, suffix, date of birth. What's redacted there? Social Security.
I wanna know.
Why would you need to redact that?
Right?
Telephone area code, telephone exchange number, telephone number of last 4 digits, historical voting records data, historical home and mailing address, military affiliation, political party. You can easily get this data from anywhere. Like you constantly get hacked. The PRC analysis on U.S. voter registration from 18 states, it obtained the voter registration record from the midterm elections type of information on U.S. registered voters contained of
I love how they
personal.
They blacked out the year. Like, but I mean, we know.
But like, you can't read like like if you just read the words, it's just fitting their narrative completely.
Mm-hmm.
Can we read the whole thing? Is that possible?
Right, like release it unredacted.
I know somebody's gonna be able to like put it through AI or something like that, and then like they did with the Epstein files, and just like completely unredact it.
Unredacted, yeah.
And then it's gonna be like, oh, so this is nothing. So nothing. They literally can't even use this technology to fucking manipulate people properly. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they learned their lesson, but I think in the Epstein files they didn't redact it properly or something like that. So you could like go in and unredact it. It doesn't look like it's allowing me to do that here, but yes, I do find this. I mean, this whole page is blacked out.
100% right, brother.
The rest of the voter register information, PII on U.S. citizens, occupation, education. Like, why bother? Why bother leaving that?
but they leave that just so it like sounds good for them. Like they just what?
Oh, I like your
You
tinfoil
literally
hat.
redacted 2 whole sentences out of that. 2 full sentences.
Yep. Let me steal
That's
this
insane.
act and see if I can't concoct a version that actually makes sense. Preface: the illegal voting isn't an issue, so we shouldn't put time and effort into it anyways. Let's say that we were going to legislate that Real ID includes citizenship status in all 50 states, and not just a few. It'll phase in over 10 years, and Real ID issuing is now completely free. Every 18-year-old is issued a Real ID when they turn 18. Real ID must be used in election registration starting in 10 years. Would this be an acceptable law? Just curious to see y'all's thoughts. I mean, you already have to give this information when you register. You have to give like a social security number or some sort of number that identifies you. I mean, the issue is just like people holding on to these documents. I mean, I feel like it just leaves too much room for potentially being disenfranchised. I mean,
Well, what if I think Schaus P99. Am I saying that right, bro? What about this? Like if like as soon as you turn 18, that you get a Real ID in mail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you use to like vote. So everybody gets it for free. Doesn't matter.
but what if you had a fire just before the election and you can't bring it?
You just go get one for free.
what if you can't? What if you don't have time? I mean, I know this is only
Well, I guess,
very few
right.
people, but we need to be. I mean, it's just because okay. So when I worked with homeless people experiencing homelessness, whatever you want to call it, it was extremely difficult for them to hold on to their documents.
What if we tattooed it?
Like a concentration
No, I'm just
camp?
joking. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be making a joke right now. I shouldn't be making a joke right now. No, go. You were saying something serious. It's just the first thing that popped in my head.
No, it was just extremely hard for them to hold on to their documents. So like I would help people like reorder their birth certificate or whatever, and just the circumstances of having to move around all the time, or like cops breaking up your encampment or whatever. Like they tell you to leave, you gotta go. You can only grab what you can grab. Like if your birth certificate, your social security card, your ID or whatever happened to be in a different corner, and they started throwing it in a trash bag, you don't have it, and then you have to go through the process of going and getting it again. Even if they legislated that the real ID is always free all the time, it's not free to get yourself to the DMV to go get it. It's if you don't have, again, it's more barriers that will disproportionately affect poor people, because it's like, okay, well then we'll mail it then. Okay, well I don't have an address. Like that requires me to be accepted into the shelter, them to allow me to have mail sent there, and then I have to still be allowed there by the time it gets to me. Because they're not going to call me.
No.
More than
we don't have cell
likely
phone.
if it comes
Right.
in. Right. I mean, there's all these factors that still include money, even if we make the thing free. And knowing the government, your first one's free. If you mess it up, you have to pay for another one.
Right.
Because that's how every other document we have works.
And I don't know, like people like to think like this is only going to affect like 10 people. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you can't get your ID because all this is 10 people. No. This is going to be hundreds of thousands of people are going to be affected by this on a regular basis, on a yearly basis.
This also doesn't like address the change your name issue, like the married women who change their name issue. I mean, I guess you'd go get your new real ID, but all those same barriers are still there.
Yeah, well, like the thing with California, I totally agree with what you're saying. I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying, but it's like the same thing as like Canada's healthcare system, right? Oh, well, there's long waiting lines. Well, it's because you don't have enough hospitals. You don't have enough doctors. If you just open up another hospital, you'd have that much shorter waiting lines. If you opened up another one, you'd have that much shorter lines, right? Like California, LA, when Trump talks about it, LA, this is a major big city. It's not a presidential election where like the polling booths are spread across the entire state and they're counting as fast as possible. This is just a mayoral election. So the amount of polling booths is not, and the amount of people working at these polling booths is not enough, right? So it's more about just like, well, you just get more polling booths and you just allow for an easier time to vote, shorter line, so it's easier to count, right?
Yeah, I mean the time it takes is all legitimate. I mean, it seems free and fair, like a free and fair election to me, to be able to have your vote count as long as your vote was submitted postmarked by election day. Like that makes sense to me. And yes, that makes it take more time, but like, why do we want a shoddy, quick election?
That's fair election. That's a correct election.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like all these people's like, you are a citizen, you're eligible to vote, you did everything you needed to do, you submitted your vote by the deadline, your vote should count. There's no reason, like, how can you argue that it can't?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's no legitimate argument for what happened in California. Spencer Pratt was never going to win that election. It's not a conservative area at all.
At all,
like,
it's LA.
Spencer Pratt was going to change the hearts and minds of LA.
No, it's you're 100% right. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not even a problem. It's never been a problem. There was never a time in the history of the United States where this is a problem. It's just somebody's just manipulating the people's perception that this is a problem because he doesn't want to accept the fact that he lost to Joe Biden. You know what I mean? It's just simple as that.
Well, exactly. And I mean, this too, it's like, is it like hypothetically a problem that China has all this data on us? Yes, but did I not already assume China had all this data on us? Yes,
Yeah.
because I know that at least like last year, were we talking about how Facebook gave Russia all of this data on us all?
Yes.
So it's like, how come
Yes.
Russia can have it and we don't have to dismantle our whole system?
It's for
But
Russia.
China has it. We like we have
Yeah.
to like.
We
Like,
sell.
and we
Google
have
sells it.
all this data on everyone in those countries. Like
Exactly. We hack them all the time.
like
You don't think we're hacking them? No, we are hacking them all the time.
so I don't
Google,
think this justifies
Apple, they're all selling our data. Facebook, they're selling our data for free.
Yeah.
And we don't get paid for it. They're getting paid for it. But it's sold. Whoever wants to buy it.
And I'm not trying to justify that activity or say it's fine, it's no big deal, but it's like it's
But what the
very
fuck is China gonna do with my
disingenuous.
data?
It's very
Try to sell me more shit
disingenuous.
that I don't want to buy?
Right. And so like the point is that we're like articles are going to be written that attack you anyway. There was articles written that attacked Joe Biden. I mean, he was called Sleepy Joe for fucking years, you know?
Don't call that. I call him that.
And it's valid.
Genocide
so-
Joe. I call him that.
Exactly.
Valid.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Like,
Right.
you're sorry, like, everyone wasn't super nice to you, and sometimes some journalists said mean things. Like,
Right.
that was really unfair to you, Mr. Trump. So sorry. Like, I don't know.
I mean, no, anytime, bro. Anytime. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being active here. No, it's not. It's really not like this whole thing. This is like for the show. My main concern is like, what are they gonna do about it, right? Like, are they actually gonna go into polling booths when midterms come around, when ICE is there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's gonna discourage so many people from voting. People that have a legitimate right to vote. And are they going to go after people that are expressing dissent, as we heard from Stephen Miller earlier and Marco Rubio earlier? You know what I mean? Like, to what extent are they willing to go? You know what I mean? That's what I'm more curious about. So, and that's the more dangerous thing. He can fucking do all this shit. This is bullshit. Anybody recognizes this is bullshit. You show this to like, hey, can you show this to a diehard MAGA person, and then you'd be like, hey, can you read this? And they're gonna be like, yeah, what is this? This is nothing. This says nothing. This literally says nothing.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
there's
the
several other
accent.
documents I'll have to go through and see if
They're all
anything
gonna
is
be like this
interesting,
anyways. Exactly. You're gonna if you're seeing like people masked up in bulletproof vests, like patrolling polling booths, like you're gonna be like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? Like this isn't what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
But you know what the thing is too about that? If that does end up happening, like these Republican people or these MAGA, I should say, they think they're gonna like that, but they're not gonna like that. It's the same thing, right? Like they think they're gonna like if ICE is patrolling the streets, catching all these illegals and like just shooting them down in the street. They think it's a good thing until it happens. Then it goes like,
Yeah.
oh,
I
don't
don't
really
like
like
living
that.
in a police state. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be that, right? Like it's gonna be that. They're gonna be like, oh, I don't like that at all.
Yeah. No, I mean it's gonna be terrifying no matter who you are.
It doesn't. It's not gonna
but-
matter. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and ICE's behavior just kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, it's going to
Because ISIS is not gonna care.
What?
The ISIS isn't gonna care. They're not gonna know you're a Democrat or a Republican. They're gonna fuck with
No, they're gonna harass anybody, and I mean, people of color are gonna be hugely discouraged from voting because they historically have not cared whether you were undocumented or not. When they took you, you know.
you. Anyways, we went way and beyond. You want to call it?
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
All right.
Thank you, House or Chouse, whatever. You can tell us how to pronounce it in the chat. But thank you for joining today. I enjoy your comments very much.
Yes. So we are here every Thursday. We try to be here every Thursday as much as possible. Usually 7 to 9. We are hopefully planning on doing it more often, but right now we're only once a week, every Thursday. So we appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you, and being active. And we'll
All the factors. Yep, all the factors is a political stream. I don't know if you can see Nav's here too on his page where he does gaming. So you can
Yeah.
follow,
So
follow both.
Yeah, if you follow both of us, I usually stream every single day, but that's just mainly gaming, just me and my friends. But every Thursday from 7 to 9, we here do politics. We do domestic, foreign, all sorts of different stories. If you have stories that you are interested in talking about, send it. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
let
it
us
for
know.
sure.
And we're
yeah,
all, we're
we'll
all
talk
the
about it.
factors on all the things. So
Yeah, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, Instagram, all that stuff. But we appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you. You guys have a great night.
all right, have a good night.